In 1995, the Scottish Claymores were the doormats of the World League. But this season is a different story, with running backs Rhein and wide receiver Sean LaChapelle. And a physical defense which dismantled Frankfurt last week. The Claymores will be hosting this year's World Bowl and are poised to stay on a roll during the second half of the season. From chilly and rainy Murray Field here in Edinburgh, the Scottish Claymores play host to the Rhein Fire. And how do you do, everyone? I'm Eric Clemens. I'll be handling the play-by-play this afternoon, along with my cohort, Bill Moss, the former defensive standout of the Chiefs. Let's start with talking about Scotland. They earned the right to host the World Bowl with a fantastic performance last week against defending champion Frankfurt.
Well, what it was a great team effort by the Scottish Claymores, but individually, 3 players were rewarded Players of the Week. On offense, number 88, Sean LaChapelle, wide receiver, and number 27, Rhein. Great effort. Teams know they have to stop these 2 guys, and Frankfurt couldn't. But the heels of this team have really been on defense, the swarming blue. And last week, Eric, they were the swarming black and blue. And the guy leading the charge for them was James Fuller, number 20. And you're going to see a lot of him today, too.
Defense, something the Rhein Fire can play as well. They rank number 1 in the World League against the run. Should be a good one. We'll have the opening kickoff for you in just a moment.
Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of football wherever it's played. This Bud's for you. And by Ryder, we're there when you need us. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
What questions keep men up nights? How good can you possibly feel? Are you looking for peak performance? Men's Health magazine has the answers. Call now and get your first issue free. You'll discover uncommon knowledge like 50 ways to flatten your stomach without sit-ups, how to cut your cholesterol 30 points in only 30 days, 5 intimate secrets to better relationships. With this special TV offer, you'll also get these 3 vital books free. Discover the sex secrets women wish men knew. Learn how to get rid of that gut quickly and easily. Plus, you'll get 101 Men's Health secrets every man should know. Call now for your free trial issue of Men's Health. You'll get the full year of Men's Health for $19.97 and these 3 books free. Where are the answers to your questions? In Men's Health.
Call 1-800-319-2999 now for a free trial issue of Men's Health magazine. Subscribe now at our lowest price and get all 3 books free. Have your credit card ready.
Welcome, everybody. Eric Clemens and Bill Moss from the northern part of the UK in Edinburgh, Scotland, where the Scottish Claymores are about set to take on Rhein Fire. We're set for the opening kickoff. The Claymores receiving to our right. Back deep will be Marcus Thomas on the near side and Lee Gissendaner to the far side. Galen Hall, head coach of the Rhein Fire, has been involved with this World League for a while. 13-12 overall, 5-10 record, and this is second season with the Rhein Fire. And Jim Kreiner also has a long history with the World League. 6-9 here with Scotland, but he was an assistant on the Sacramento Surge who beat Galen Hall's team for the '92 championship. Chilly, 45 degrees here, wind out of the northwest, 15, and ouch, chance of snow. Come on, is this May 19th, Bill, or what? I don't know. Well, we are going to play some football. It's football weather, right? You'd be out there in short sleeves.
Short sleeves all the way. You got to love this weather.
Manfred Bergsmuller with the kickoff, coming down to Marcus Thomas, who will take it at his 16. Fakes the reverse, and Thomas keeps it. Goes through a big hole, gets up close to the 30-yard line, where the Scottish Claymores will take over on offense. And Steve Matthews and Bill, Coach Kreiner talked to us yesterday, said this guy's play is improving every week.
It's improving every week, Eric, but he did say he's not sure which Steve Matthews is going to show up. So he's hoping today that he can have a repeat performance of what he did last week.
First and 10, call a spot at the 30-yard line. Split backfield with Kaihalo, who gets the handoff and comes to the near side. Jared Cahalo runs into some defenders there and picks up a yard. Anthony Fieldings was one of the tacklers. Ricky Andrews and Percy Snow also in to help out.
Running the ball today, Eric, is going to be one of the things that both these teams have to do.
All right, looking at the backs and receivers, of course, Stacy and Scotty Cooper, the national, starting in place of LaChapelle on this first series, but LaChapelle and Stacy, the big guns on offense as far as the skill positions go for the Scottish Claymores. 2nd and 8. The pitch goes to Stacy off the far side, has some room. Stacy then met by Percy Snow at the 35-yard line, still tried to struggle forward before he was brought down.
Well, that's their signature play. You know, that's the big one they go to all the time. You see it all the time. And the guys up front are what makes it happen. Duran Stacy's going to get all the number, but the guys up front are what make their offense go.
And two of these guys up front, Bart and Zeno, recovering from some kind of illness that these guys picked up in Frankfurt last week.
Salmonella seems to be the word going around the team. They're not sure, but Coach Kreiner said they had 8 guys out with it this week.
We'll see how they can play up front, and if not, they'll have to be replaced by a couple standing by as Matthews back to throw, gets away from the rush and picks up big yardage across the 50. Into Rhein Fire territory, out of bounds at the 32-yard line, chased out by Larry Kennedy.
Big pickup for Steve Matthews. And one of the things that Rhein Fire hasn't been able to do is rush the quarterback. That time, they rushed the quarterback. They were all around him, but Steve Matthews found a crease. And not only a crease, because that crease turned into a bunch of daylight. And he took it right down the sidelines. It was finally pushed out of bounds. Well, that's exactly what Rhein didn't need on their opening drive. They don't want to give up big chunks of yardage like that.
Only 33 yards on that scramble, and the give this time to Stacy. Picks a hole, has a lot of room, still has room. He'll go. Touchdown, Scottish Claymore.
Well, this team has picked up right where they left off last week in the 4th quarter down in Frankfurt, Eric. And that is they're playing. Their level of play has just generated. It's gone up another notch. And right there, they went back to the big guys up front and doing what they do on the ground so well with Sharon Stacy. And Sharon Stacy, who has an innate ability of making something extra out of a normal carry.
Gavin Hastings, no good. Misses his first extra point of the year after going 12 for 12 before that one. So the extra point is no good, and Scotland has a 6-0 lead. We'll be back as Rhein Fire tries to answer as they take the kickoff in just a moment.
Welcome back to Olympic coverage. Now, the pommel horse is a great chance for the USA to move up in the medal race, and this young man is probably our best hope for gold. He's off to a good start. Oh, man, what form. He's really making this look easy. Into an L. To a handstand. Amazing! Here's the dismount, and he sticks it.
Bud Light, proud sponsor of the '96 U.S. Olympic team.
Now let's check in at the pole vault finals, where we're going to see some people do.
One of the ways Ryder makes your move easier is by renting trucks with automatic transmission. Because moving doesn't have to be an uphill battle. Ryder, we're there when you need us.
Well, Grady, we think you're ready for the outside.
Take your time for it. Crispy.
Good luck, kid.
Crunchy.
Butterfinger blast.
Crispy! Crunchy!
Have a Butterfinger blast from Nestle.
Hi, Bob Vila here with an exciting new hand tool from Sears. If you're impressed with our Craftsman RoboGrip pliers, wait till you see this. Hey, Jim, how you doing with that table?
Oh, these hex nuts are driving me crazy. My adjustable wrench keeps rounding off the corners, and I don't have box end wrenches for all the different sizes.
Here, try the Craftsman Pocket Socket adjustable box end wrench. With a one-hand adjustment, you can lock onto nuts and bolts of almost any size, metric or standard, from 5/16 to 3/4 of an inch, or 8 to 18 millimeters. The closed box end clamps tight, and heat-treated steel construction makes it durable. And because it's a Craftsman hand tool, made in America, it's guaranteed forever.
For rush delivery of your Craftsman Pocket Socket, get your Sears charge or other credit card ready and call 1-800-208-8833. That's 1-800-208-8833. Or send your check or money order for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-208-8833 right now.
Big guys up front who make the way for that man, Rhein, who took it in from 32 yards to help Scotland to a 6-0 lead on the Claymores' opening possession. Eric Clemens and Bill Moss back here at Murray Field in Edinburgh. And now we have a stoppage of play before the kickoff. Hastings ready to kick it deep to Terry Richardson, and Larry Kennedy will be to the near side. Big plays. One of them by that man, Rhein, 31-yard run, followed up a 33-yard run by his quarterback, Steve Matthews. Hastings, low kickoff, bounces, and is picked up by one of the up men, and that looks like Derek Clark, and Clark picking his way through some holes, gets up close to the 40-yard line. Rhein Fire will start in great position.
Well, let's go back and take a look at the replay. Remember I said it all starts with the guys up front. Watch number 71, Tom Barton. Watch him lead the way for Rhein. And then, right here into the picture, a missed tackle, okay? That's what Rhein can't afford to do. They can't afford mistakes. It's been one play here for him, one play there for him, and right there, it cost him a touchdown. They're down. They're in a hole trying to come out on the road, 6-0.
Andy Kelly trying to lead Rhein Fire back, goes back to throw in the quick hitter out to Tommy Boyd. Boyd on the quick pattern gets up. First down yardage across the 50 and into Scotland territory at the 49.
Surprise, surprise, they found somebody else except for Byron Chamberlain.
Andy Kelly. Kelly leading this offense. He has been up and down all year long, and
well, he's a guy that this offense depends on, and he has to make things happen. And he's had some problems. He's been struggling, quite frankly, getting the ball to his receivers.
Coach Galen Hall calls him a hot and cold quarterback. Hopes to stay hot on this opening drive. Dumps one off to Terry Richardson out of the backfield. Is it loose down on the field? Let's see what the officials rule. He picked up about 4 yards off the reception out of the backfield, and they'll say it's still Rhein Fire ball, so call it 2nd and 6 for Rhein Fire. And the backs of this team are really the strength, led by Derek Clark, who has 25 catches out of the backfield.
Yeah, they are the strength, and they can run the ball. They average like 6 yards a carry, the most in the league. In my opinion, they don't use these guys enough.
Richardson is split out in the slot to the far side with Clark the lone setback. And Kelly to the air again. Looking down the field under some pressure, gets it away and has his man, Manley Woods. Deeper into Scotland territory, pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line by Shannon Jones.
Again, he goes to the wide receiver. First it was Tommy Boyd, now it's Manley Woods. And this is what Andy Kelly needs to do. See, he's been relying on his tight end, Byron Chamberlain, all along this season. But now he's looking, see him? And now he has to go and find the number 2 receiver. And Manley Woods right there finally gets open, and it's a nice pickup for him.
So Rhein Fire on the move, 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line of Scotland. Andy Kelly to give to Terry Richardson, and Richardson has good yardage off the left side, picks up almost 5 on the play.
You have to like what they're doing. You know, they're mixing things up. They're keeping Scotland off bounds. They open up with some short passes, then they find their wide receiver, bang. Now they come back and use the running game with the big offensive line up front, and there they are.
Wlaf Hampel, the national, one of the few that plays every down for his team, former Denver Bronco, and you like that right side of the line.
Yeah, Harden, Hoyam, these guys, you know, they're big guys, and to get this running game going, they're going to have to use Harden out in space, and what I mean by that is his pulling ability.
On 2nd down, call it 2nd and 6. And Kelly again, quick pattern, gets it to Derek Clark out of the backfield. He had 25 catches coming in, and he gets close to a 1st down.
Well, you know, Galen Hall referred to his quarterback as hot and cold, and right now he's starting off hot. See where he's placing the ball? Right on the fingertips of the receivers. It was outside for the back right there so he could turn upfield.
Scotland's defensive line, Joe O'Brien getting the start at end for John DeWitt, who is one of the victims of that virus or salmonella or whatever it is that affected
Pretty good bunch up front, too, Eric. They can really get after the passer.
They give to Derek Clark, who has some room off the left side. Clark gets down close to the 15-yard line before he's brought down by Ty Parton.
Ty Parton, you know, he came back from being injured. He missed 3 or 4 games. He came back last week in some Frankfurt game, and he's a guy that really brings a spark and emotion to their defense.
Rhein Fire, you see, has scored only once in their opening drive, and guess who it was against?
It was against these guys right here, and you know what? They're knocking at the door again.
In fact, they only have 6 points in the first quarter all season long. They came against Scotland a couple weeks ago at Rhein Stadion. Kelly under some pressure just throws that one away. Smart move because Herman Carroll amongst a couple others were there. Ty Parton and Emmett Waldron was coming up the middle on the blitz.
Well, I said they could get after the passer, and they did. And right there, Andy Kelly showed me things he hasn't showed me all week long, all season long, and that is he just threw the ball away.
Look at the linebackers. Waldron, the national starter, in place of Mark Sander, one of the leading tacklers on that defense. Ali and Jones on the outside. All at 3rd down and a long 5 for Rhein Fire. Kelly to the air again, gets it to Clark, but Clark met immediately, trying to struggle forward, but he's brought down out there by Ty Parton. Emmett Waldron came to clean up.
And a lot of the problems they've had is when they get inside the scoring zone, they've been inept. And what I mean by that is they've had fumbles down there, interceptions, missed field goals, and right here, now that, you know, they can't get a touchdown, they're going to have to settle for 3.
Leo Araguz is on. He's going to kick it from just inside the 20. Call it a 29-yard attempt. Araguz 4 for 6, his long 39 on the season. This one is up. And it is through. Leo Araguz, 29-yard field goal. So Rhein Fire starts well, gets on the board. They cut the deficit to 3. 6-3 in favor of Scotland. The Claymores will get it back when we come back to Murray Field.
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan.
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
The sun's up at Bay Hill, and what a lovely day for a drive. But don't forget to keep your head down, because Bay Hill is Arnold Palmer's place, and the rough edges are there by design. So who helps the business end of this legendary club run smoothly? Office Depot.
Taking care of business.
Office Depot guarantees low prices and 100% satisfaction. Because when you're responsible for the big picture, even small details are important.
Taking care of business.
What you doing? Stopped up. Vinegar, baking soda.
Learn the secrets of home repair on Fix It, weekdays only on FX.
They are America's dreamers, builders, leaders. They are the future of America's companies and communities. They are students, teachers, machinists, programmers.
But we're more.
We're more.
1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year.
We're the men and women of the U.S. Army Reserve.
We're proud of what we do. And who we are.
You can join us in the Army Reserve.
As a full-time citizen serving part-time, you can train in one of almost 200 career fields, learn high-tech skills, and earn up to $25,100 toward a college degree while you're still in college. Serve part-time. Feel a pride that's full-time. Can you see yourself? This could be you. Call this number for more information. You'll receive a free brochure in the mail. There's no obligation.
No matter where you are in your life,
the Reserve can help you do better in life.
Call now.
Be all that you can be in the Army Reserve. How about it?
Welcome back to Murray Field in Edinburgh, where both offenses have gotten on the board on their team's first possession. Scotland a touchdown, missed extra point, Rhein Fire. The 29-yard field goal by the man kicking off, Leo Araguz, will be kicking deep to Marcus Thomas. Thomas taking the reverse again, going to the far side, has some room. Thomas out close to the 50-yard line before Araguz brought him down.
Well, you know, special teams gives you field position. And when you can get a play like this out of your special teams, it really generates your offense. Your offense is going to take over the ball now at the 50-yard line. Marcus Thomas faked the reverse to Lee Gissendanner and then found a crease. He got behind his wedge on the right side, and like a smart running back, when he sees daylight, heads to the near sideline.
He tried the fake reverse on the first kickoff that he had, and it gave him a little room on the right side, but not quite that much as he got that time. So Scotland taking over in great shape at its own 49-yard line. Stacey, the back man in the I formation, gets the handoff. Comes near side and gets into Rhein Fire territory across the 50 to about the 48.
And that's what they're going to have to do up front. Up front, they need to control their run gaps and keep Surround Stacey to minimal yardage like they did the last time. And these guys up front here, the guys that have to do it.
All right. Teichelman is one of the replacement players there for the Rhein Fire defense. As Riddick Parker broke a finger on a hand, he may be out for the remainder of the season. So Teichelman in the starting lineup, and Surround Stacey gets the carry. Doesn't get much before Mike Andrews hits him down hard. Teichelman was also there to clean things up.
Yeah, see, that was the same play they ran on the touchdowns, but that time the linebacker was there. Ricky Andrews read the play, came up and stuffed the trap by number 71, Tom Barnt, and then did a fine job on making a tackle.
Look at the linebackers. Fielding's their leading tackler. Percy Snow, co-leader in tackles, and Klaus Bearderman, the national player. And on 3rd down and long, Matthews gets it out of the backfield to Ron Dickerson. First down yardage and more inside the 30. Knocked out of bounds at the 28.
Well, you know, Ron Dickerson was hurt last week, and he missed most of the game. That's where Jared Caiello came in. But when they need to pass the ball out of the backfield, this is the guy they want to get it to. He's got great hands and an innate ability to turn upfield when it's time to do it. And you see it right there. Out of the backfield, Steve Matthews throws a nice ball a little bit behind him, but it was wide open, and he just turned the ball up and went upfield. He's got good hands for a running back, and that's what they're going to utilize him with in this offense.
Dickerson's 7th reception of the year on that catch. Big first down, and the swing pass dangerous out to Stacey, who has more room. And Stacey goes for a touchdown.
You know, I asked Jim Kreiner this week, I said, Jim, what are you going to do different? He said, nothing, Bill. We're going to come at him with our base stuff. Well, he was telling me a lie because this isn't their base stuff. They're hitting the backs out of the backfield on short stuff all over the place. Normally, they're going to pound the ball at him, come off play action, and look downfield for LaChapelle or Yo Murphy or Scott Cooper. They're not doing this. Now they're using the backs underneath because they're sending the receivers downfield, and they're being covered up.
Now they'll go for a 2-point conversion since they missed the first point after touchdown. And Matthews going end zone, has his man. Sean LaChapelle, we have a flag down as well in the end zone, so hold everything. As they sort it out and have another meeting of the minds there in the end zone. And a couple of Claymores are pointing to their end of the field as if the call is going to be against Scotland. All right, if you were a lip reader, you could see who it was against, but interference, offensive interference, obviously against the Claymores.
What happened, it looked like in the back of the end zone we had a little pushing off, and I think it was on Willie Tate, number 85.
Well, now that'll bring one of the team captains, the rugby legend Gavin Hastings, onto the field, and he'll almost be kicking a field goal for the extra point here, point after touchdown.
Well, the last one he missed was the first one he's missed all season, and now he's got a shot where he has to kick a 19-yarder here.
And that one is straight and true. Good. So, after Stacey's second touchdown of the game, the Scottish Claymores are 2 for 2. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns by Surround Stacey.
And 2 different methods. One on the ground where he followed his lead blocker, and then out of the backfield. He's sitting out in the flat, and as a safety valve, he gets the ball thrown to him and finds his way, picking and flashing through the defense. You see the play action pass. Steve Matthews just turns and finds his man out in the flat. And then he has his big blockers down front, Keith Wagner and Purvis Hunt. And when you get those two big lows in front of some defensive back, the only thing that's going to happen is touchdowns to Saran Stacy.
Well, I tell you, it looked like a dangerous pass, too, as a defensive lineman was right there, and he just got it over the big right paw.
What it was was a screen. They let him rush upfield, and Purvis Hunt and Keith Wagner got out there, released quick. And in World League American football, on a screen, you're allowed to release from the line of scrimmage before the ball is thrown. So they get downfield and get their blocks set up. Then it's dump out into the flat to Saran, and nothing but daylight after that.
So 4 plays, and Scotland strikes quickly again. 51 yards, and this kick by Hastings is a short one. Comes down on the far side of the field and comes down to Antoine Carter. And Carter brings it up to the 30-yard line before Carm McGill brought him down. So Ryan will take over and try to answer. Spotted at just over the 30-yard line. Take a look at the defensive backs, and a really active unit it is. They hit, they cover, they do everything with.
Very good group. A lot of these guys you're going to find on NFL rosters in training camp for sure, if not all 4 of them.
On 1st and 10, play fake. Kelly going deep down the far side, has a man open. And no flag. He was looking for Kevin Knox. Now we got a flag down and looked to be late.
That's going to be pass interference on James Fuller. James Fuller got in front of Manley Woods as the ball was in the air.
And the Claymores protesting a bit. So it seems obvious the preliminary indication is that they committed an infraction.
Well, one of the things they wanted to do, Rhein Fire, was have the wide receivers more active in their game plan. They haven't been utilizing them as much as they'd like, and they need to get downfield. Because if they have the ability to open things up a little bit and get downfield, then you have to respect them. You have to stay on your man, and that's going to open things up underneath for Byron Chamberlain and for their backs.
Oddly enough, they scored on their first possession without throwing a single pass. Number 82's way, and there it is, the pass interference.
James Fuller obviously didn't know where the football was, and he didn't know who it was being thrown to. And he might have thought the play was over, because he runs right into Manley Woods right there on the play, and the ball's coming there. I mean, that was pass interference all the way.
Galen Hall sees his team get a good break on the pass interference call. Ball at the 37, and Antoine Carter dancing his way to the far side of the field, picks up about 4 before he's brought down by Ty Parton on the far side.
You know, Eric, so far the Ryan offense has been doing what they came here to do, and that is keep the Scottish Claymores defense in check. And what I mean by in check is off balance. They haven't seen them open up downfield. They haven't seen them go to the wide receivers much. They're getting the ball out there to them. Then as soon as they do that, bang, they come back and start hammering the ball up front and picking up 3 or 4 yards of carry.
In fact, the Claymores told us yesterday they want to make Kelly hold on to the ball and try to go downfield. They feel that he plays into their hands if he does that. Had a little movement before the play, no flags down. Kelly throwing that one almost intercepted, and now we have a flag down. Maybe another interference call against the Claymores.
Well, there was a lot of confusion there in the front, and it's going to be an interference call. But you can see right there, that's why they want to make Andy Kelly hold the ball. Because when he has a lot of people around him and he's in traffic, and there's your call right there, pass interference. If you take a look here, we have a linebacker blitzing Mark Sanders. Now right there is number 56, Arnold Ali. He lays a hit on Antoine Carter as Antoine Carter comes across the middle just as the ball's being thrown. Now he's allowed to make that hit under 5 yards and disrupt his timing if the ball isn't being thrown to him, but the ball was in the air, and that's why it was pass interference.
So give the Rhein Fire a first down at the 33-yard line. 2 receivers split out wide to the left for Andy Kelly, and now we have some movement along the line. It looked like Byron Chamberlain jumped a bit.
Something they can't afford to do.
False start, number 82, offense, 5 yards, first down.
They're moving the ball down there in scoring zone for the second time they've had the ball. And you're going to see him jump off sides right here. He must have thought it was on 1 or 2, had the snap count, was confused. But these are the little things that have been haunting this Rhein Fire team. Every time they get down in that situation and having a chance to put some points on the board, something eats them up. One play here, one guy there.
Nickel anyway, Pete.
Rhein Fire, not a lot of big plays on offense, but a lot of penalties for this team. 39 for 284 yards coming into this afternoon's game. Hand up and the loose ball. Herman Carroll picks it up, and he's going to run with it. Taken down by Andy Kelly. George Coghill made the big hit and forced the loose ball.
Well, they call him the hit man. And you're going to see why they call him the hit man. Because when it's time to support the run, that's exactly what George Coghill, number 34, does. He comes up from that strong safety position and is the force on the outside. And that time he laid a hit right on the ball. He put his helmet on the ball, and the ball popped out. You'll see him to the right side of your screen. See him running into the picture, and there it is, tackling the ball. And that's what you're taught as defensive back. Strip. Hit the ball. Put your helmet on the ball. Get that thing out.
Jerome Davidson coughed it up there, and Saran Stacy is caught right there in the backfield by big James Wilson. A loss of 4 on that play. It'll set up 2nd and very long for the Scotland offense, which has the ball in great shape once again after the turnover.
Well, that's what they need to do. They need to shut down Saran Stacy. Take away Saran Stacy, double coverage, bracket coverage, number 88, Sean LaChapelle, and make number 12 win the ball game for you, because he's thrown 7 interceptions. He has the ability to make mistakes.
On 2nd and 14, Matthews to the air, swings it out of the backfield and throws that one a little bit too low for Jared Kaihalo to handle. So that'll set up 3rd and very long. Rhein Fire defensive secondary is depleted, to say the least. You are looking at the only 4 guys that Galen Hall has to play in those positions today.
That's it. So if there's only 4 guys out there, how do they go to nickel package where they bring the 5th DB in?
I guess they don't. Maybe Jamal Cox, though, is all set to play one of the safety positions should he be needed. And Jamal is normally an outside linebacker, so we'll tell you how that develops as Matt Gay, the normal starting free safety, is at home with his wife expecting their first child. There's a pass. Sean LaChapelle catches it near the 1st down marker. No, it's the national Scotty Cooper correction, and that's 1st down yardage for Scotland.
Well, there you have it. What did I just say? Who do they bring in for nickel back? They couldn't. They didn't bring anybody in. They were in the regular defense. 4-man rush, 3 linebackers, and 4 DBs. And that gives them a lot of time. They find Scotty Cooper. When it's 3rd and 13, most defenses are in their nickel package. They couldn't get to it.
See how that one plays out over the course of this game. Scotland on the move, completing the big 3rd down play, converting, I should say. And we have some flags down as this one seemed to be a little busted up from the start. Had a lot of movement in the interior line before the handoff was given to Stacy for a loss of a couple. So referee Ron Fars, the offsides against the Rhein Fire. Another penalty that hurts in this situation.
Defense number 73.
Rhein Fire has moved the ball well, but since Scotland has struck so quickly, you look at the scoreboard and it's 13-3.
Well, look what's happened to him, the Rhein Fire. The same thing that's happened to him all year. The mistakes, the penalties, the little things that just holds them from becoming a good team.
Back 15,
I mean,
you all right?
Out of their 4 games, they've been in every game. I think the total margin of loss is like 9 points throughout their 5 games.
And Steve Matthews, an offense's delight, 1st down and only 5, gives it to Saran Stacy, who goes off the far side, picks up about 4, brought down by a host of people on the far side as Jim Kreiner looks on 2nd and very short.
Well, you have to like that situation. Anytime an offense is 2nd and about 1, you know, it's a good time for the offense to test them. Hey, they're in position now. They're across the 50-yard line. They're about the 30. Throw one deep. What the heck? You can always come back on 3rd and 1 and go for your 1st down.
Cooper is in motion this way, and the pitch comes to Saran Stacy. Stacy might have gotten across the 30-yard line, which he needed to do to get the 1st down, but he was met hard.
Yeah, well, I said throw the ball downfield, but they lined up in I backs. And if you study this team, the Scottish Claymores, when they're in I backs, they run the ball. And you can see Jared Kaihalo, number 31, leading the way. But Rhein Fire isn't fooled at all. They knew that play. They knew what was coming their way. You can see now it's third and about a foot.
Wow, it looked to me like Stacy had crossed the 30-yard line before he was knocked backwards, but they don't give him the greatest spot right on the 30. And now Steve Matthews doesn't like what he sees. He's going to take the time out and come over and talk it over with Jim Kreiner.
Make them wedge the guy that's on the center, and what you want to do is just kind of slide opposite that double, okay? Make sure everybody comes tight, okay? Get up the field. Tell them get some push.
Oh, what he's saying is it's 3rd and 1. They're going to wedge the guy on the nose, and wedge blocking is going to be 3 guys in the middle. It's going to be the center and 2 guards. They're going to come blowing forward, and Steve Matthews is going to go off the butt of one of the guards. So he's going to go left or right off of one of the guards as the 3 guys like hold hands to just form a wedge right up the gut to pick up the first down. Talk about some offensive success. What about the Amsterdam Admirals, who discovered it a couple of weeks ago in the second half against Frankfurt? Now nobody can stop them. 48-14 Amsterdam over Barcelona in action on Saturday. 3rd down and very short, and there's the sneak for first down yardage, unless they get a really terrible spot. Well, that's definitely a first down, and it's something that Scottish Claymores have been able to do all year. They've got like 100% completion rate on 3rd and very short. I think every quarterback sneak they've gone for, they've gotten, because they got a pretty good unit up front. The 3 guys in the middle are allocated from NFL teams, and they've been in that situation before. And of course, they're going against one of the Rhein Fire's nationals.
May very well be the last play of the first quarter as Matthews to go to the air. Comes near side and has his tight end, Willie Tate. And Tate down inside the 15 to the 12-yard line as we end the first quarter. First quarter is history. Steve Matthews trying to lead his team into the end zone on their 3rd straight possession. Back with the second quarter in just a moment.
These guys are persistent.
Well, they're no match for the world's first sport utility wagon.
Oh, really?
All-wheel drive Subaru Outback's got more headroom than a Cherokee.
Uh-huh.
The ground clearance of an Explorer.
So you say.
Ride smooth as any car.
Got any more of those tidbits?
What, like more stability in a turn than a Chevy Blazer?
Sure, that'll do.
That's why Subaru Outback. World's first sport utility wagon.
Look, you have got to go to Office Depot and see for yourself. Office Depot has the best selection.
I buzz in, I get what I want, and I'm gone.
Either call or fax your order in. You can have delivery the very next day. Office Depot has a great catalog with everything from A to Z. Office Depot, the best.
Office Depot, taking care of business for companies of every size, everywhere, every day.
So you can't keep up with your old ma, huh? Not with this headache. Where's your Tylenol?
It's Advil now.
You switched? I like the way Advil works.
On tough pain, 2 Advil work better than any 2 Tylenol.
Welcome to the 90s, Mom.
Advanced medicine for pain.
One of the ways Ryder makes your move easier is with a computerized reservation system that makes short work of paperwork. Because the sooner you get your move started, the sooner you're finished. Ryder, we're there when you need us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Binswanger. On Memorial Day, Subterranean Cables will broadcast 12 straight hours of the coolest spy show ever from the FX apartment. It's the FX Mission Impossible Marathon. 12 hours, 12 missions, 12 self-destructing messages. Your mission, lead viewers through this web of intrigue with IMFX channel hosts Mercedes and Jane. This promotion will self-destruct in 5 seconds. The FX Mission Impossible Marathon, May 27th at 2/1 Central, only on FX. Sponsored by Nestle 100 Grand.
And now Budweiser presents World League of American Football Facts. All 4 teams in the 1995 NFL Championship games featured former World League quarterbacks. Jim Miller with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jason Garrett with the Dallas Cowboys, Doug Peterson with the Green Bay Packers, and Paul Justin with the Colts. Hey, World League, this Bud's for you.
Chilly, rainy, windy here at Murray Field in Edinburgh, but the fans pretty happy with the results right now. as the Scottish Claymores lead it by 10 and are going in for more.
I was going to say you forgot cloudy.
Yeah, right. Haven't seen the sun here in the past couple of days, but good football weather. In motion this way comes Scott Cooper, and another swing pass out to Saran Stacy, and Stacy spins inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Well, it worked for him once, and they went back to it again. You know, they tried the same thing. They tried to set up that screenplay.
Look at the domination by the Claymores on offense, 152 total yards. But Rhein has moved the ball. He had 5 first downs, but again, Scotland leading by 10 and going for more.
And a lot of those yards are because of Rhein's mistakes, the things they're doing. They're the breakdowns in their defense.
Give to Jarrett Kaihalo, and Kaihalo has plenty of room, pulls his way in for the touchdown.
You know, Jarrett Kaihalo had the chance to start last week because of Ron Dickerson's injury. And we talked to him, and he stepped up to the call. He said, hey, you know, my opportunity was there, and I met the challenge. And he took full advantage of the situation. He had a great game for him last week, and then he comes back, and he's right back in the mix of things again this week, being the lead blocker for Saran, banging up there for him, knocking linebackers out of the way.
He had only 6 carries for 15 yards coming into the game, but picks up an important 12 for the touchdown there. I'm sorry, 8 yards for the touchdown as they go for 2. Steve Matthews floats it in the corner. Great catch by Sean LaChapelle for the 2-point conversion.
You know, the nice fade pass. And Sean LaChapelle is a guy in the end zone you want to throw a fade pass to. Loft it up there, and he's 6'4". Let him jump up there and go get it.
Rhein Fire gets the ball when we come back.
7 Up attitude.
It's a given. It's the way it makes you feel. It's the lift that you get. It's a rhythm in your step, 'cause it's cool and it's wonderful and it's lemon and lime. 7 Up. It's an up thing. 7 Up. Does it every time. It's clear and it's wonderful and it's totally fine. 7 Up. Hey, it's an up thing.
Where is the one place to carbonate your brain?
You don't take orders from anyone but the sea. The harder you work, the more you earn. And the more you earn, the more you keep. And after it's all said and done, you walk away with the 2 things nobody can take. Good friends and good corn.
On the Super Collectors, tomorrow's never just another day.
This is Scarlett's room.
Ordinary people, extraordinary collections. Sunday, only on FX.
Every day, America Online is making it easier for people to live, work, and play.
Hey, Dan, ready for the game?
I can't go to the game today.
What?
I got to send my mom a birthday gift, then book plane tickets for our trip next week, and my kids got to go to the library to look up dinosaurs.
Hey, we can take care of that right now with America Online.
We can?
Yeah, we can send your mom flowers, order those plane tickets. We can even look up dinosaurs in Compton's Encyclopedia.
With America Online, you get instant news and sports, financial updates, online magazines, and easy access to the internet. Call now for your free America Online startup kit and 15 free online hours.
Flowers are sent, plane tickets are booked. Here come the dinosaurs.
That's great.
Downloading's easy. I can even send an email on the internet. And we'll check it all out later, after the game.
So how do you get America Online?
Well, that's easy, too. You just call their 800 number.
Call 1-800-705-1717 now for your free America Online startup kit with free software and 15 free online hours. It's everything you need to get online, so call 1-800-705-1717.
Welcome back to Murray Field in Edinburgh. The Scottish Claymores offense has had the ball 3 times. 3 times it has scored touchdowns. And they lead 21-3. Jarrett Kaihalo also playing the special teams. This one comes down to Larry Kennedy at his 12. And Kennedy taken down at the 30 after a 17-yard return by David Webb. 9 plays, 45 yards, over 4 minutes after the fumble recovery by Herman Carroll.
Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown. Watch number 71, Tom Barton, lead the way on the trap. He hits Percy Snow, the middle linebacker, springs the whole thing open. And then Coelho, once he gets down around the goal line, he just keeps those feet churning right into the end zone. Then they come back and they need 2, and there's the fade pass. See where he lays the ball? Perfect for Sean LaChapelle. Pulls it right in. Couldn't put it more better. Both feet in bounds too, Eric.
I guess the big story for the Rhein offense is that their leading receiver, the leading receiver in the league, Byron Chamberlain, has yet to catch a pass. And we get a handoff. Gerald Jeffcoat met Derek Clark for a loss on the play, called a loss of about a yard.
Yeah, you mentioned they took Chamberlain out of it, and then now they're taking Derek Clark out of it. You know, he gets the ball on the draw play, which is averaging about 6 yards a carry for him, and he's -1. So to take those two key components out of the Rhein Fire, you really wonder where they're going to go offensively right now.
Right now, things going Scotland's way. Scotland has never recorded a victory against the Rhein Fire in its history. Kelly back to put it up. Goes to the near side, and that one in and out of the hands of Clark.
You know, I said they're taking Byron Chamberlain out of the game plan here. Watch how they do it. Okay, George Coghill comes up on the line of scrimmage, and he's right on top of the tight end. And what he does is he jacks him up and he stays with him man-to-man. And he comes right down the seam, and there's nowhere to throw the ball to. And normally he's getting all the balls. He has like 35 receptions for him or something like that. He has to throw the ball out into the flat.
And now Andy Kelly really doesn't like what he sees and burns a timeout. So he'll go talk things over with Galen Hall. Andy Kelly will get it sorted out and try to come up with a play that works for 3rd and long. Scotland leading it 21-3. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
I don't see him. I think we're safe.
Of course we're safe. We're in my Subaru Outback.
I know the world's first sport utility wagon.
This beauty's got dual airbags, full-time all-wheel drive, and it's more stable in the turn than a Blazer.
What else you got?
Better braking than an Explorer. That's my Subaru Outback. The world's first sport utility wagon.
It was a painful way to learn. I should have been taking Advil. I was bending and lifting. Everything hurt. After trying Tylenol, I knew I needed something stronger. My doctor said for tough pain, 2 Advil work better than any 2 Tylenol. Advil just works better.
Hi, I'm Emmett, and I'm a cowboy. This is my hat. These are my boots. These are my horses. This is where they graze. And this is my ranch. No matter whose brand is on the front gate. This is my territory. This is my zone. This is my planet.
With Ryder, you can drive off with great rates. So whether it's cross-town or cross-country, don't make a move without calling Ryder first. Call 1-800-GO-RYDER.
Once upon a time, there was a fairy princess who looked a lot like you. And she had a magic wand, too.
Action Lane remembers the old porch gliders, but ours have comfortable padding and a unique gliding mechanism for a smoother, gentler ride indoors.
Once upon a time, there was a fairy princess who your grandpa used to say looked just like me.
Introducing the new glider recliner from Action Lane. Call 1-800-700-1233 for your local dealer and a free buyer's guide.
Situation, 3rd and 11 from their own 29-yard line. Rhein Fire trying to mount a drive and get back in it. They trail by 18 here early in the 2nd quarter.
And for Andy Kelly, this isn't the situation he wants to be in. He doesn't want to have to be 3rd and long, obvious pass situations, because the front 4 of the Scottish Claymores can rush the passer. And he has enough problems just getting the ball to receiver without them all over him.
4 receivers split, 2 to either side of Kelly on 3rd and long, and he is hit, ball knocked loose, and they're calling it incomplete, not a fumble. The official rules that his arm went forward.
Well, like I just alluded to, it's not the situation.
That's what you are. You're just a genius.
That's not the situation Andy Kelly wants to be in. But, you know, he's had his problems all year long, just getting the ball out to the flat. Now he has to sit back on a 3rd and real long and play against a group that is known for rushing the passer. And there you see him coming flying around the corner. Robert Flickinger, heck of a pass rush.
So now Leo Araguz, leading punter in the World League, will get it off to Lee Gissendaner, standing back at his 30. He'll maybe feel this one on the bounce. No, it's coming near side. It will roll out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So once again, Scotland in great shape, and they'll be in really good shape on June the 23rd when the World Bowl will be played right here at Murray Field in Edinburgh. 6 p.m. British summer time. That's the BST. And the opponent, we don't know. Could be a number of teams.
We don't know how it's going to unfold. You know, it's funny. I was worried last week thinking, well, what's going to happen? You know, it's a kind of a weird deal. You know, they can get to the World Bowl and halfway through the season. Are they going to fall apart? Are they going to rise? You know, this team is feeding off of what they did last week. They're growing. They came out and scored 3 touchdowns in the first 3 possessions. That's showing me that, you know, they know they're champions now, and they want to prove it every play.
It would be very easy for them to pack it in a little bit and just wait for the World Bowl, but a lot of the players telling us yesterday they are trying to get the perfect game going. And look at Saran Stacy break free. Stacy still on his feet inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
Wow. Wow. I said last week, I said, somebody please tell me why this guy's not in an NFL camp. You know, I think for sure he will be. You know, you talk about yards after the catch. Okay, watch. You make one guy miss. Anthony Fieldings was right there. He should have made the tackle. You have to make the tackle in that situation. But yards after catch, you want to talk about him? There's your man right there.
Coach Kreiner told us that he is generating a lot of interest from NFL scouts around the league. And for certain, there's a man who's going to be invited to an NFL camp somewhere. Saran Stacy, and now we have a stoppage of play.
Well, you know, that way he can finally get his haircut.
Look at the first 3 possessions for Scotland. 70-yard march, 51-yard march, 50-yard march after the fumble recovery, and they're knocking at the door again.
Yeah, and for Rhein Fire, it's a situation where we talked to the guys yesterday, and you saw in their eyes, they said, no, you know, we have something to prove. We want to show everybody we can play. We've been in every ball game down to the end. But even though those words were coming off their tongue, you got the sense that this group was frustrated. They're not happy where they are. They don't have any answers. And they're looking for some. But today, right now, as of this point, aren't able to find any out here.
And a timeout being charged now. Steve Matthews trying to get everything straightened out with Jim Kreiner.
Well,
Jim
what are we going to do? I guess.
Or Soker,
Here, look at here. Leave
the
the backs
offensive
normal.
coordinator.
Okay, I know I don't want that.
Claymores. Let's listen to the conversation.
Leave the tailback weak and the full. Yeah, and I know when Stacy blocking because of they're overplaying the power play. How come the clock said 0? I don't know.
I believe what they're going to try to do is, she said they're overplaying the power play. And what they want to do is have Saran Stacy fake the power play, get him to commit, then throw the ball up top on a play action.
Saran Stacy into the record books again as a total yardage leader, and the give goes to Ron Dickerson. Dickerson off the far side picks up maybe 3 yards before he's brought down by Anthony Fielding.
Well, I asked Jim Kreiner, I said, hey, you guys going to do anything different? He said, oh, no, basic stuff. Well, watch Saran Stacy. Now he's coming in here trying to block. I said, trying to block. He went for the legs of the defensive end and wasn't able to cut him down, and they got the ball to Ron Dickerson. So it is a change-up for him. Usually the fullback's blocking for the halfback. Now they switch it up.
2nd and 7 at the 10-yard line. The blitz is on, and that is Mike Salmon who throws Steve Matthews down for a big loss. Big sack on that play as Rhein Fire has to make a stand somewhere.
Well, look, he's shaking his head. He's upset, you know. He's like, darn, we got to make something happen. And right here, he takes him out of field goal position. So Mike Salmon's, you know, he's a guy back there. He's trying to get his troops rallied up, make a big play, make something happen. They need to blitz more often, because they only blitz when they're down inside the scoring zone. They don't have anything to lose, Eric. You know, they're 1-4. Start sending the guys. Do whatever you have to take. If you need a new quarterback, get a new quarterback.
Steve?
Jim Kreiner trying to talk things over on this big third down, and before the game, this is Power Party Scotland style.
You gotta love this Power Party. Now, every time you go to, that we do a game that, they have this thing going on out there, and it's a different flavor because it's a different ethnic party every time we go to.
I tell you, the
he doesn't look like he's at a party right now.
Might not be the greatest weather for the kilt look there today. A lot of wind blowing up under there. But they were having a good time, and they're having a good time in the stands here. Galen Hall, his time could be better. His team trailing by 18, and Scotland now with a third down and about 15 to go for a first down. In fact, they'll get a first down if they get the ball to the 3-yard line, and Steve Matthews has come out of the game, and Kerry Jones, the third quarterback, has come on. Attending to Matthews' nose. We don't know. Jim Ballard usually listed as the second-string quarterback, but Kerry Jones, number 7, is in on third down, and Jones back to put it up. Gets it to Dickerson out of the backfield, and Dickerson will get it inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. That'll leave him about 5 yards short of the first down.
Well, here's the power party here. I mean, when you're up 21-3 with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter still, you can put in your third-string quarterback that you just recently signed last week from Arena Football. He was over in the States. He played a game last Saturday night in Arena Football. Then they bring him over here on Sunday, and he's playing in the game already, second quarter. What happened on the blitz there is Mike Salmon came up, and in the course of a tackle, the helmet came down on the bridge of Steve Matthews' nose.
And Paul McCallum sends that one through from 25 yards away. So Scotland 4 for 4. 4 offensive possessions, 4 scores. Their first field goal makes it 24-3, and still plenty of time to go in the second quarter. If you're a fan of the Rhein Fire, plenty of time for the Rhein Fire to get back in it before halftime.
Well, you know, Scotland is just, they've gained a lot of momentum off of that win last week. You know, everybody thought Frankfurt was the favorite, and they were the team to beat. And Scotland, quite frankly, went down there and just handed it to them. In all aspects of the game, just put it on them. And Frankfurt left there embarrassed. And what it's done for them is they're hosting the World Bowl here in Scotland. And this team feels like they're champions. They feel like they're the NFC champs. And they've won that title. But they still have 4 games to play. But through the course of this, I mean, they're gaining energy and momentum. They're feeding off this excitement, Eric.
Scott Cooper getting those limbs stretched out, staying cool. First half recap of the season, and everything pretty much is improving here in the World League. The national players weren't very involved last year, but look at the output through 5 games of the 1996 season. Points a game are up, and more importantly, attendance is up. So more fan interest in the World League of American Football this year. Hastings kickoff, a very short one, goes out of bounds.
And you know, I've seen a lot of this too, and we never talk about it, but when the ball's kicked out of bounds on a kickoff, it's a penalty, and the ball's spotted at the 35-yard line. And I think a lot of the reason for this is that each time the kicking game comes on the field,
by the kickers, we'll put the ball in play at the 40-yard line. First down.
Each time this occurs, it's a national kicker that has to be out there. And a lot of these national kickers are used to kicking a soccer ball or a rugby ball, whatever the case may be. And, you know, when they tell them to kick to the left hash mark, the ball usually goes out of bounds. They should just tell them to kick it straight down the middle. They wouldn't have to have this penalty, because that's great field position right there.
Meanwhile, Steve Matthews is throwing a few passes right in front of us over here on the near side of the field, so he seems to be fine. He may return to the lineup. Kerry Jones looks sharp on completing the swing pass, and now Terry Dean on the field for the Rhein Fire, and Dean completes it to Tommy Boyd, and Dean, staying on the ground for a while after taking a hit, appeared to be shaken up a little bit.
Well, Terry Dean's into the lineup, and we said if you got to make a quarterback change, make a quarterback change. But now he gets a feel of what his partner Andy Kelly's been feeling. See Herman Carroll? He puts a lick on him, takes him right to the ground. All 275 pounds of him comes straight into Terry Dean, sandwiched between Carroll and the ground.
Carroll, one of the leaders on the Scottish Claymores defense in terms of sacks, with 2 coming in. Antoine Carter, those quick legs moving up close to the first down. I believe he has it across the 50 into Scotland territory at the 49. Terry Dean out of Florida. age 24 years old. He has good size, 6'2", 214. He's 13 of 24 for 101 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns so far this season. And Dean gets his team a first down in Scotland territory at the 48. Still, Byron Chamberlain, the leading receiver in the league, has not caught a pass. The handoff here goes to the near side of Jerome Davison, and Davison has good yardage inside the 45 to the 43.
You know, one of the things they're going to have to do to take the pressure off the quarterback is run the ball. And when they run the ball, it takes all the guys up front, the 5 linemen and your tight end. And there's Chamberlain, and he's over here to work on his blocking. You know, he was a wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. They're trying to convert him to a tight end, and part of the tight end package is you have to be able to block. And right there, he did a nice job against Joe O'Brien.
And off over the far side as a big stack led by Joe O'Brien meets Jerome Davison, and Davison will be about a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, Joe O'Brien knows he just got blocked by a tight end last play, so now he's got to come back in there and make a big play. He get mad, say, oh my God, how did that happen to me? I got blocked by a tight end. I'm a defensive lineman. It should never happen. It happens, trust me.
115 H alert. They don't have it.
Galen Hall, hoping his 5th rated offense can come up with plenty of points and get back into this game. 3rd and 1. Dean on the sneak, and he looks like he'll have first down yardage.
Barely.
Barely.
I mean, that was quite a chunk of yardage, actually, a little bit more than a yard to try to go for a quarterback sneak up front.
David Webb, one of the Claymores who met him. They're going to measure it anyway. Looked to be beyond the first down marker, but again, the spot.
He may be short. Look at the spot.
Holy cow. He may be short from the.
Yeah, there he is. Galen Hall's not happy about it either.
Yeah, he's got that wry smile on his face.
Hey, but I looked at what he went for. His quarterback sneak is about a yard and a half. That's a long way to go for a quarterback sneak.
He will be short. Short by about 7 inches.
Quarterback draw, maybe. But when you get right up there on the lineman's back and try to push forward, that's a tough call when you're going for a yard and a half.
All right, we're going to take you from defense to offense. You're down by 21 points. You got to go, huh?
Hey, you're 1 and 4. What the heck do you have to lose? Hey!
7:03 to go in the half. And apparently they listen to you. On 4th down and very short, they need a surge to get them about 7 inches.
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. Mark Sanders came right over the top. Looked like he jumped over top of the center to wrap his hands around Terry Dean.
Galen Hall puts on the headsets as if he wants to hear some more offensive plays. He seems confident that they have it. It all will depend on the spot. The officials want to, I think, get another measurement. James Spencer on the sideline saying, hey, it belongs to our offense. We'll see.
I think they're shorter. They are.
They are short. And Galen Hall couldn't believe the spot last time, and he can't believe the turn of events this time.
Watch Mark Sanders. Ty Parton. How about that leapfrog move? I thought it was Sanders. Sanders to the left there. I thought it was Sanders that came over. He came over like a linebacker. Ty Parton, he jumped over the guard like he was a frog. That's a new technique. I've never seen that technique before.
That's a tremendous athletic play for a guy 6'4", 272 pounds. Ty Parton, a big play, gives Scotland great field position once again, already up 24-3. They're now at the 39. In motion to the near side is La Chapelle. Halo takes the delay, and we have flags down on the play.
Tom
Prior to the snap, false start, number 71 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Watch number 71 to the left of your screen there. See, he just pulls out a little bit early. Anxious to lead that trap block up on the linebacker for Rhein Stacy. He's been doing such a fine job at it that he couldn't wait to get another lick in there.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Steve Matthews. A solid performance at Frankfurt last week. back in the game after having that nose attended to on the sidelines. And Matthews back to throw, comes near side. He was looking for Kai Halo out of the backfield. Overthrew it just a little bit. Set up 2nd and 15.
Well, you're going to see the blitz come to the right of your screen. And that's where you want to blitz a left-handed quarterback because he can't see you coming. That was number 58, Klaus Bearderman, the national player. And that's where you want to blitz him. Blitz him to the side that he's not looking at. And by the time he does see him, he has to hurry to throw. And you saw the way the ball came out there. Just Jared Caiello could never get a hand on it.
On 2nd and 15, Matthews to go upstairs again. This time hits Kai Halo out of the backfield, and Kai Halo picks up close to 5 yards before Anthony Fieldings brought him down. Fieldings, co-leader in tackles on this Rhein Fire defense with 26 coming into the game.
Now you have a situation that you like to be in on defense. 3rd and about 13 or 3rd and long. Obvious passing situation.
Fielding's 2nd year here with the Rhein Fire. Told us yesterday misses playing in the middle. He's a very active linebacker and likes to be in the middle of things, but doing it on the outside this year. On 3rd down, fake, play fake to Saran Stacy, going deep down the middle. LaChapelle had cut behind his man, but a nice play by Donald Douglas to knock it away.
And one of the reasons Fielding, who we were talking about, doesn't like playing outside is because you have to play the play action pass, and that's what we have right here. They fake the run, and then see LaChapelle, he's on the seam and slant, and he's open. I mean, and then Donald Douglas makes a great close on the ball.
So Paul McCallum will punt it for the first time back in deep formation. He'll punt it to Tommy Boyd, who's standing back, and he'll field it at his 32. Boyd gets up to the 38-yard line before he's brought down by Joe O'Brien. A little extracurricular stuff going on out there on the field, but the officials appear to have control. So Rhein Fire, a little moral victory. They stopped the Scottish Claymore offense. Now what kind of offense do they have?
Yeah, and you know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing the Rhein Fire starting to get a little fire. And it's something I haven't seen. They don't like the situation. They don't like being 1-4, looking at 1-5 right in the face. They don't like the little things happening to them that aren't going their way, and they're trying to push and shove afterwards. I don't think it's frustration. I think they're actually getting upset, and they're going to try to do something about it.
On 1st down in good field position at their own 38, Terry Dean to put it up in the air. Dean under pressure. Buys himself some time. Now comes back the other way and has his man. Byron Chamberlain. Chamberlain inside the 40 before he goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line of Scotland. James Fuller and James Williams knocked him out. James Williams, rather, knocked him out.
Nifty footwork and composure by Terry Dean. See him wave Byron Chamberlain up. He says, come back, come back. He was covered down there by George Coghill, 34, but Terry Dean, as he's scrambling with one arm, says, come back up. And he comes back up, and he hits Byron Chamberlain. Nice pickup. And this is what the Fire needs to get going. They need to make big plays. They need to march the ball downfield.
Chamberlain, his first catch of the afternoon. Derek Clark, also a big part of their offense. And speaking of Mr. Clark, there he is, breaking into the open. Clark inside the 20 and finally brought down by James Fuller as he gets close to the 12-yard line.
Well, you know, we talked about Byron Chamberlain and we talked about Derek Clark and how much they've meant to this offense. And there you have a case of it. Back-to-back plays. First they go to Chamberlain, who has a nice pickup about 30, then they come right back and feed the ball to Derek Clark, and he has another nice pickup. Now they're down about the 15-yard line. Now they can't afford mistakes. The mistakes have been haunting them in the past. They need to put it in the end zone. See it right there? Byron Chamberlain and Derek Clark. They're the two guys. They're getting it done for them.
Give this time to Terry Richardson, and Richardson has a nice hole, gets it down inside the 10 to the 7-yard line.
Like I said, you see a sense about the Rhein Fire. They're pushing and shoving. They're a little bit mad out there, Eric. And since they took the possession of the ball down there, they've marched right downfield. Looks like a different team playing out there right now.
They have, again, been in every game they've been involved in this year, and the difference between wins and losses, as we pointed out all afternoon, has been their mistakes. They've got 3 receivers split out. Tommy Boyd, with the play clock running down, goes to the far side. Dean, quick slant over the middle. He was looking for Tommy Stowers, the backup tight end,
who he almost hit, was George Coghill, 34. George Coghill was in position to pick that ball off.
So it'll be third down, and a big third down for the Rhein Fire, looking to get back into this game, trailing it by 21.
Illegal shift. 2 men moving in the snap. Offense, 5 yards. Replay, third down.
Now, what did we just get done talking about, Eric? They get down there. They're at the 15-yard line. They need to use that momentum and put the ball in the end zone. Instead, it's a same old story. Second down. A penalty, a mistake, miscommunication, and the ball starts going backwards.
All right, they'll replay second down as Terry Dean, 2 of 3 for 32 yards so far in the game. We'll replay second down, call it 2nd and 8 from the Scottish Claymore 13-yard line. Terry Dean on in relief of Andy Kelly, trying to provide a spark for the Rhein Fire offense. And the give to Richardson, and Richardson gets to about the 10 before Herman Carroll says no more. All about the 11-yard line. 3rd and 7.
You know, in the NFL, when it's 2nd and long, everybody knows it's going to be a draw. And right there, they tried the lead draw on 2nd and long. And I said everybody knows it, and right there, everybody on Scotland's defense knew it was coming.
So big 3rd down and long. Richardson and Manley Wood split out to the near side. Chamberlain in the slot on the far side. And Dean chased out of the pocket again, trying to buy some time. Throws end zone. Incomplete. David Wilson and James Fuller were back on the coverage. So Galen Hall now has a decision on 4th down.
You have to go for it. You have to go for it.
Where'd he come from? Yeah.
Watch Byron Chamberlain. Shannon Jones is with him all the way. Doesn't let him go. He's in front of him. He turns. He comes back. That's taking away their offense from him. That's what they've been doing the whole time. And they're going to go for 3 here. 3's not going to help them.
Leo Araguz will pull it up and call it a 28-yard attempt. And that's up and good. So they settle for the 3 and take a 21-point lead or deficit down to 18 late in the first half.
You know, when you get down inside the red zone and you just come away with a field goal, most offensive coordinators aren't happy with that. You lost 4 points. When you're down in there, you need to put the ball in the end zone. Good offenses that get down there and only put up 3 points, sooner or later through the course of a game, it'll reach up and bite you. And another team will have the other team will have a situation to win the game. Rhein Fire, who's struggling, needs to put it in the end zone as many times as they have the chance to do. And if they're down there, they might as well go for it.
And they get something positive like moving the ball on the ground and mixing things up with Dean, and they still have a sour taste in their mouth when they don't get the touchdown.
And the clock's at 12 seconds.
That's exactly right. They
How can that happen?
To score. They need to score touchdowns.
That clock is at 12 seconds, and he's marking it ready for play.
He needs some better calls and better spots than he got on that last Rhein Fire drive.
You know, Galen Hall has been on the referees all season long, and he's worried about this call and he's worried about that call. But what he needs to worry about is his offense and what they're not doing, and he needs to find answers for it and find a way to get it done.
Araguz bounces this to one of the up men, and it's Ben Torriero, the national, and Ben Torriero out across the 40-yard line. They're saying maybe it's a loose ball, but I think the officials may have ruled this one down. Let's see as they unpile it.
Well, if Rhein does have the ball like they're signaling, that'd be a great opportunity for them to march right down the field and put it in the end zone. In the end zone, the 7 points is what gives your offense confidence. It's what gives your team confidence. You just march down there and kick a field goal, it takes the wind out of your sails.
And Ben Torriero is the man down on the play. He got the short bouncing kickoff and was really hit hard as he crossed the 40-yard line. And he has not moved much as they attend to him. Bill Robinette, one of the trainers down there, asking Torriero what might be the problem. And they rule that Rhein Fire did recover the loose ball and fumble, so they are in good shape at the Scotland 38-yard line. There's Ben Torriero, spends most of his time on special teams.
The local favorite here, obviously being from Edinburgh. And he's a guy the fans love, the community, everybody gets behind him, the players on the team respect him. You know, he gets them pumped up. He comes out there with the face paint on. He's jumping up and down. You're going to see him field the ball right here. And he starts upfield behind his blockers. And it takes a big blow by Marcus Fink, number 23. And as he was hit with his head down, the ball popped out, as you can see on the ground.
Might have been Jerome Davison who really popped him as he came across the 40.
You know what it was? I know exactly what it was. When you have your head down like that and you make contact, it's called a stinger. That's what these guys call it all the time, stinger. It's a nerve that shoots down your neck. Yeah, it burns. It goes all the way down your arms to your fingertips. So when it's real severe, sometimes it goes down both arms. I know what they're like. I've had them. And it's not enjoyable. And that's what it looked like to me that Ben Torriero suffered on that play right there. But getting back to Rhein, you know, the special teams are really going to create field position for you. And good special teams in this league can really be a big help, because a big play like that can turn the ball game around for them.
And the hometown fans, of course, very happy that Ben Torriero is walking off the field mostly under his own power. That's great news.
You're going to see him right here. He jumps up in the air, avoids a tackle, and then as his head comes down lower, see the contact made right there? That's it. I'm sure of it. I've seen it before. I've been through it. I know exactly what it is. That's a stinger, and it stings.
And the Rhein offense led by Terry Dean trying to add another sting here against the Scottish Claymores and get back in it. Dean off the play fake, going for it all. And that one well overthrown. George Coghill was the closest man to it. Manley Woods was the intended receiver.
A little bit overthrown, and Terry Dean had some pressure in his face. Number 90, Joe O'Brien, gave him the lick as he was releasing that ball. But they have to go deep. Hey, they just had a big turnover inside Scotland territory, you know? Open up, throw the ball deep.
And we have the 2-minute warning as Terry Dean and Galen Hall trying to put something together to get on the board once more before we end the half. 24-6, Rhein Fire. Back in a moment.
So you know it's there.
It's there. 100 grand.
What's a split?
There's no split. 100 grand, 100 grand, 100 grand.
I can't go in there. They know me.
We use Sal.
Sal. Sal. That's beautiful.
100 grand. Rich, chewy caramel, creamy milk chocolate, and crispy little crunchies.
Here, Grandpa.
Hey, Sally. Keep one for yourself, kid.
100 grand from Nestle. Now that's rich.
So you can't keep up with your old ma, huh?
Not with this headache.
Where's your Tylenol?
Oh, it's Advil now.
Mom, you never used anything but Tylenol.
Well, times change. There you go. You know, these days it's Advil I trust.
A lot of people do.
And you know, 2 Advil work better on tough headaches than any 2 extra-strength Tylenol.
Welcome to the 90s, Mom.
Why, thank you.
For safe and effective pain relief, Advil, nothing is proven to work better or last longer.
This is Back Check. This is your host. You can reach Jeff by phone, letter, email. Not just a fax, man. We want your side of the story. It's our job.
Hi, Bob Vila here with an exciting new hand tool from Sears. If you're impressed with our Craftsman RoboGrip pliers, wait till you see this. Hey, Jim, how you doing with that table?
Oh, these hex nuts are driving me crazy. My adjustable wrench keeps rounding off the corners, and I don't have box end wrenches for all the different sizes.
Here, try the Craftsman Pocket Socket adjustable box end wrench. With a one-hand adjustment, you can lock onto nuts and bolts of almost any size, metric or standard, from 5/16 to 3/4 of an inch, or 8 to 18 millimeters. The closed box end clamps tight, and heat-treated steel construction makes it durable. And because it's a Craftsman hand tool, made in America, it's guaranteed forever.
For rush delivery of your Craftsman Pocket Socket, get your Sears charge or other credit card ready and call 1-800-208-8833. That's 1-800-208-8833. Or send your check or money order for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-208-8833 right now.
Clemens and Bill Moss back at Murray Field. Scotland ahead of Rhein Fire 24-6. Rhein Fire on the move at the 38-yard line of Scotland. Dalen Hall made the call on 2nd and 10. Scotland out of timeouts. Rhein Fire has a couple. 4 receivers split out. And Terry Dean to the air again. Dean under pressure. Down he goes. Herman Carroll with his 3rd sack of the year.
One thing's for sure, when you have 4 wide receivers in the game and you're under 2 minutes, you know it's a 2-minute offense. And that's another time. That's a situation you don't want to be in with the Scottish Claymores defensive line. They can rush the passer. And Herman Carroll, who is a Charles Haley lookalike in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Used some of Charles' finer techniques to get to the passer.
3rd and 16. Dean looking deep. Goes down the far side. That one intercepted by George Coghill. And George Coghill comes up with his 3rd interception of the season. The 13th for this defensive secondary this season.
Well, when the ball's thrown like that, you have a pretty fair chance of being a defense to come up with the interception. Watch 99 Gerald Jeffcoat. He just goes right by Mike Alexander and lays a big hit on Terry Dean as he's releasing the ball. You know, Terry Dean's probably now getting a feel and understanding of what Andy Kelly has been going through all season long.
George Coghill, of that active secondary, they came in with a league-leading 12 interceptions. Coghill's 3rd makes it 13 for that group of 4. Scotland, by far its worst field position of the day, but Matthews trying to wait for something to develop deep, and he is brought down hard. Dunstan Anderson, who came over a couple weeks ago from London, gets the sack.
And we talked to Galen Hall, and Galen said Dunstan will be in when we need to rush the passer. One of the problems Rhein has is rushing the passer. They haven't been able to get there effectively. It's caused a lot of problems for them. Now Dunstan's here. He comes over, and when it's time to rush the passer, they put him in. And he responds there.
They only had 4 quarterback sacks coming into the afternoon. They have picked up 2 so far today. And the give goes to Saran Stacy, who's met in the backfield. James Roberson on the stop.
You know, you can see Rhein Fire do so many good things. They do so many things well. And right here, you're going to see 72 James Roberson slant inside number 78 Keith Wagner. And then just grabs Saran Stacy, grabs him like a piece of toilet paper there. He grabs him with both hands and just throws him down to the ground. You can see them do so many things well, but they can't do it on a consistent basis. Consistency has been their biggest problem this year.
I was going to tell the folks watching, I wish they could see you. You had the fist balled up, and I thought you were going to grab me there for a second when you're talking about James.
Well, you know, I saw the play, and I get these flashbacks sometimes, Eric, you know.
All right, other action this afternoon in the World League of American Football. And in the second quarter, London blanking Frankfurt 20-0. Let's go back to a couple weeks ago. Second half Amsterdam. You said Frankfurt had been exposed.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
They have. They were exposed because they showed how to stop that offense. You know, bump and run, take all the receivers away from them, and they've been doing it. And Scotland did it last week, and now London got a hold of them.
Going on 6 quarters now that the high-powered Frankfurt offense has not scored a point, and Saran Stacy dancing through a hole and getting up to about the 24-yard line. He picked up about 7 on 3rd and very long as we are winding down toward the end of the first half. Rhein takes a timeout, and Scotland will be forced to punt.
Well, there's 35 seconds on the clock, and Rhein called a timeout to stop the clock because he knows a punt's coming. And this far into Scotland territory, they know a punt, something can happen on a punt. You can break a punt from this position right here on the field. If he gets it at about their 40, they can bust one and take it a distance. And that will give them a little momentum going into halftime. If not, even if they gain 10 or 15 yards on the return, they have 1 or 2 shots at the end zone again to try to gain a little momentum going into halftime with some sort of score.
Tommy Boyd came into the game 9 returns for 79 yards, a 7.9 yard average. His long for the year is 20 yards. Paul McCallum will be standing at his 10 to take the long snap. Boyd is standing back at his own 40. McCallum, end-over-end kick coming down short, and Boyd called for the fair catch at the 44-yard line. So with 31 seconds to go in the half, very good field position for Galen Hall and his Rhein Fire, trailing by 18.
They hit us in the back and everything. They ain't calling nothing. That really surprised me. I mean, you call timeout so you can get the punt, and you don't have a return on. They didn't call for a punt return. They called for a safe catch.
He looked to have some room, too. It was not a high punt, not a lot of hang time, so he had some room to go, but he wants to leave the offense, I guess, with more time on the clock. 31 seconds for Terry Dean, the 4-receiver set. And Dean to put it up. And he has his receiver across the 50, and Terry Dean down in a heap, but gets up as he was hit by Big Ty Parton on the pass to Byron Chamberlain. Looked like Chamberlain got it inside Scotland territory at the 47, and Dean just spikes it to stop the clock. They did not pick up the first down on that one, so it'll be 3rd and 1 before they get a fresh set of downs.
Terry Dean looking not very happy there. Every time he sets up in the pocket, he's got a bunch of blue shirts on top of him. He's saying to himself, how can I complete a pass if I don't even have a second to find a white shirt downfield? And thus far, he hasn't. He hasn't had the time to do that.
Only 6 seconds to go in the half. So he's going to have to do something down the field to at least set up a timeout situation in the long field goal attempt, or go all the way to the end zone. New pass on the near side. That one almost intercepted again by George Coghill. But more importantly, the incompleted pass ends the first half. The Scottish Claymores have been excellent on offense. The Rhein Fire, as exhibited by Terry Dean coming off the field, has had its share of struggles. Into the first half, 24-6. Scotland leading the Rhein Fire.
Good afternoon, Mr. Binswanger. On Memorial Day, Subterranean Cables will broadcast 12 straight hours of the coolest spy show ever from the FX apartment. It's the FX Mission Impossible Marathon. 12 hours, 12 missions, 12 self-destructing messages. Your mission, lead viewers through this web of intrigue with IMFX channel hosts Mercedes and Jane. This promotion will self-destruct in 5 seconds. The FX Mission Impossible Marathon, May 27th at 2/1 Central, only on FX. Sponsored by Coca-Cola.
So why did you leave AT&T?
I fell for the gimmicks.
I was just auditioning different companies.
And I thought, well, gosh, maybe I'll try it and just see.
And?
I'm disappointed. I miss AT&T.
AT&T misses you, too.
So we're making it easy to come back.
Anything that makes my life easier, I'm for it.
How does up to 100 free AT&T minutes sound?
I like free minutes.
We'll send you AT&T long-distance certificates good for up to 100 free minutes.
Just for switching back to AT&T.
100 free minutes, I'm there.
There's more.
Keep hitting.
Only AT&T customers can get AT&T True Reach savings.
Whoa, what's that?
Well, spend $25 a month and you save 25% to anyone, anytime, anywhere in the U.S.
I think it's right on the money.
And you're covered on every type of call on your AT&T phone bill. AT&T calling card calls, AT&T cellular long distance, collect calls you receive, even fax and modem calls. Pretty comprehensive, huh?
That's what I like about it.
Does it cost anything to sign up?
Nope, doesn't cost a thing.
Could you please be more enthusiastic?
All you have to do is call 1-800-GET-TRUE. So, have I convinced you yet?
I like what I see, but I kind of want to see more.
Yeah, I'd like to see what I'm saving.
I want something I can easily read, see where my savings are, and go, yes, I'm getting a good deal.
You got it. AT&T puts your savings right on your phone bill.
She could show it to me. She goes, look how much money I saved.
What more could you ask for?
How about this? You're backed by AT&T's world-class customer service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
What have I got to do to come back to you guys?
Call that number to switch now.
And you'll get up to 100 free AT&T minutes.
So, what do you think?
I think it sounds great.
Just with 100 free minutes, that sounds wonderful. 25% across the board.
And I know that the service is there.
Can't get any better than that.
Well,
I think we'll switch.
Good decision.
Thank you.
You know what to do.
It's all within your reach.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
Today's halftime highlights are brought to you by Ryder. We're there when you need us.
high-profile Greer fields at his own 12. Looks for some running room. He's got running room. Only the punter to beat. Greer past the punter. He could be gone. He's gone.
Win it for Barcelona. Down. Kick up. Kick is good.
Look at ready. Oh, what a feeling that is.
Watch the punter, Shane Edge on the sideline.
He's buckling up his helmet there. And here he comes out onto the field.
You've got to be kidding.
I've never seen anything like that before.
You have got to be kidding.
One of the ways Ryder makes your move easier is by renting trucks with automatic transmission. Because moving doesn't have to be an uphill battle. Ryder, we're there when you need us.
Hey, is that thing on in there? All right, you ready for some real action? Let's go, dude!
The World League of American Football. There's nothing else like it. Now, official World League products are available in the U.S. only through this exclusive offer. Call 1-800-635-4438 to own the colors of the London Monarchs, Scottish Claymores, Amsterdam Admirals, Frankfurt Galaxy, Rhein Fire, and the Barcelona Dragons. Replica jerseys in official team colors only $39.99. T-shirts only $14.99. World League football $69.99. And assorted team hats only $14.99. Remember, all teams are available. So call 1-800-635-4438. This is your only opportunity to buy official World League products. Don't miss it. Call now with your credit card order or write to the address on your screen. Refer to source number 001747 on all orders. Wines this good must be guarded with care. That's why Franzia comes in an airtight pouch that protects the fresh taste to the last glass. Maybe that's why it's America's favorite wine.
The sun's up at Bay Hill, and what a lovely day for a drive. But don't forget to keep your head down, because Bay Hill is Arnold Palmer's place, and the rough edges are there by design. So who helps the business end of this legendary club run smoothly? Office Depot.
Taking care of business.
Office Depot guarantees low prices and 100% satisfaction. Because when you're responsible for the big picture, even small details are important.
Taking care of business.
Though he's only 165 pounds, this Claymores receiver plays a much bigger brand of football. In fact, it's a brand Scott Cooper's used to. It was his 8 seasons with Glasgow in the British American Football League that prepared him for World League competition.
Anyone playing amateur football in Britain would ever dream about playing football at a professional level, especially against players of the calibre that we are playing. I mean, all my days playing, I was happy performing and competing for the Glasgow Lions and helping them win and get better. And I felt great being part of that team and that unit, and I still do. But the day that they said that the World League was coming back and they were actually giving a franchise to Scotland, I remember being quite excited, and I thought, well, if they're looking for Scottish players, then I know I can play this game.
Cooper's 6 catches for 50 yards led all European nationals last season. He has 5 catches so far this year for the league-leading and World Bowl-bound Claymores, most of them coming in key situations. Over the past 2 seasons, he's earned the respect of his teammates and self-respect as well.
I felt sometimes maybe, especially last year, that the nationals weren't being as used to their full potential, but this year with the rule changes, I've been out on the field for half the game, and I'd hate to think that anyone thought we were playing with 10.5 players. Now I know I have the belief in my coaches and the fact that they're calling my number. They've got confidence in me that I can make the plays for them, and that feels good to me. It's a good feeling to have going into games knowing that you're a player.
That confidence resulted in his number being called, and without question, Cooper's biggest thrill his first World League touchdown, which came in Week 3 before his family and hometown fans at Murray Field.
I was actually in a tight end position, which is unusual for me, and I attacked it on the outside and come across everyone else as they clear out, and I swear to God, it just opened up, and as I came across, I just thought, I'm open, now turn and catch it, just catch the ball, and Steve put a perfect pass into my stride, and as I just turned and seen the goal line, that's the celebrations began.
And now, AT&T presents the Play of the Week. In a game that would decide the host of the '96 World Bowl, the 3-1 Scottish Claymores travel to Waldstadion to go head-to-head with the undefeated Frankfurt Galaxy. In a defensive battle, the Claymores forced the high-powered Galaxy offense into committing 5 turnovers. With less than 10 minutes left in the game and the Claymores leading by only 6, quarterback Steve Matthews hit Sean LaChapelle from 22 yards out for a touchdown. The score ended any hopes of victory by Frankfurt and propelled Scotland to host this year's World Bowl. AT&T salutes Sean LaChapelle and his Play of the Week.
Once upon a time, there was a fairy princess who looked a lot like you. And she had a magic wand, too.
Action Lane remembers the old porch gliders, but ours have comfortable padding and a unique gliding mechanism for a smoother, gentler ride indoors.
Once upon a time, there was a fairy princess. Your grandpa used to say it was just like me.
Introducing the new glider recliner from Action Lane. Call 1-800-700-1233 for your local dealer and a free buyer's guide.
Critics who haven't even seen it agree. You'll flip for Spy Hard. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend it.
That's a very powerful flamethrower.
3 thumbs up, way up. An instant classic, just add water. It's Leslie Nielsen's best performance since his last movie. Spy Hard. It's good till the last drop. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, May 24th.
Lost and Found, hooking up the planet one reunion at a time. Because all the people we've cared for in the past don't have to stay there. Lost and Found, weekends at 8, 7 Central, only on FX.
Hey, that car's dull and dry. Looks like it needs some body wet. No, not that. New Body Wet by Black Magic. It's the world's first clear car polish with the unique wet look. Body Wet gives you a shine that's so rich, so thick, it actually looks wet. It really is easy to give your car the most incredible high-gloss finish you've ever seen. Get a superior shine with the innovative Body Wet by Black Magic. Now only $14.95. And if you call today, we'll send you a second bottle of Body Wet for just $5 more. But wait, we'll also give you the incredible Tire Wet by Black Magic absolutely free. One quick mist with Tire Wet and your tires will look brand new again. All this for just $19.95. So if your car looks dry, give Body Wet a try. Call now.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-758-1188 or send $14.95 for 1 bottle or $19.95 for 2 bottles with Tire Wet plus $5.95 shipping and handling to Body Wet, P.O. Box 2978, Framingham, Massachusetts.
Back to Murray Field in Edinburgh, Scotland, where the Claymores lead the Rhein Fire 24-6. And the story of the first half, Bill Moss, was the Claymores offense, 3 for 3, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns.
Well, you know, like I talked about, these guys had fed off of their victory last week, and they found different ways to do it. Here's a nice run by Saron Stacy following Tom Barnt. You know, he picks and slashes his way through the hole and goes 31 yards for a big run. And you're coming into the game, you know you have to stop Saron Stacy to stop Scotland. And thus far, no team has been able to do it. Rhein did it 2 weeks ago in their first game. And then after you try the run, and then you go out and you try the little swing pass. It's Saron Stacy again. He can run the ball, he can catch it and run. He's a big part of their offense, and he has to be accounted for. And now they're finding different ways to get involved with things. And that was touchdown number 2. And then they come back with Jared Caiello. You know, they on the trap play, there he is right up the gut. And then when he gets around the goal line, he just keeps those feet churning. Doing the job that he had the opportunity to win last week. And, you know, for Scotland, it's a situation where there's no letdown here. They were 0-3 against the Rhein, and they had something in it for them today. They wanted to say, hey, we're going to go out there and make sure that these guys know that they can't play with us.
And if you look at their total offense, that'll tell you the picture right there.
Claymores 217 total yards, couple of key turnovers. But they are comfortably in front, and an onside kick recovered. Wow. George Coghill, who expected that? I think some of the Scottish fans here don't even know what they just saw. But it's an onside kick, and the Claymores recover. Nobody was anywhere near the ball but blue shirts.
Well, the thing is, they took off early. And what I mean by that is Rhein Fire's front five started heading backwards to get set up in the wedge before the ball was kicked. And George Coghill right there, 34, lets the ball travel the allotted 10 yards it's supposed to before they can recover.
So Scotland pulls some trickery on the opening kickoff of the second half and gets control of the ball. So Rand Stacy trying to pick a hole, gets across the 40 to the 42, pickup of 2 yards at the most.
Yeah. You have to figure Galen Hall's pretty upset with that. You know, he's down by 18 points as it stands. He comes out, he wants to get his offense generating some things positively. He's thinking offense, they're getting the ball first. And Scotland comes out and pulls a stunt like that on him, really rubbing their face in it.
Well, it's second and a long 8. And Matthews comes near side, and Scott Cooper had to turn back for that one. Almost held on to it, but it's incomplete. Larry Kennedy on the defense there.
Well, Steve Matthews is getting to the point in his career where he's starting to understand where his receivers are going to be as opposed to what defense is being played. And right there was an example of it. He knew exactly where Scott Cooper was going to end up because of the defense being played. He put the ball out there. Scott Cooper wasn't turned around quick enough to see it coming.
3rd and 9. And the draw play, Coghill is met immediately in the backfield by Dunstan Anderson. So it appears, even after the onside kick recovery, the Rhein Fire defense rises to the occasion and stops Scotland from moving it any further.
Yeah, it was 3rd and long there, and they try to get the draw to Jared Coghill, but Dunstan Anderson, who's in there to rush the passer on 3rd and long situations, wasn't fooled at all. He was in the backfield, and he didn't follow the quarterback. He just went right after the ball.
Paul McCallum to punt it to Tommy Boyd, and Boyd calls for the fair catch at his 22. That's where the Rhein Fire offense will take over. But we have a penalty flag on the field at about the 44-yard line of Scotland.
Well, what Scotland's been guilty of in the last few weeks is their cover guys leave early. And that's exactly what it is. They have an illegal man downfield. And you have to stay in there until the ball's punted and then release. These guys get so excited to cover and go down there and hit somebody, they take off as soon as the ball's snapped.
So we'll bring it all back and kick it once again after the 5-yard
on the kick. Number 51 on the kicking team, 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
You said after the 5-yard penalty was walked
off. See him at Waldron, number 51?
Right.
Right to your screen. See, he leaves early, and he knows as soon as he did it, he caught himself, he goes, uh-oh. And then the flag goes up.
So Paul McCallum will punt it again. McCallum, 1 punt today of 32 yards. His average is 34 per kick. High end over in, and Boyd lets this one bounce. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be down there. Didn't quite make it out of bounds, but Robinson downs it at the 27-yard line. So again, the Rhein Fire offense set for its first possession of the second half. We'll see what they can do, trailing by 18 against Scotland when we come back.
I wasn't satisfied with my headache medicine. Then my doctor told me about Arudis.
Now in non-prescription strength, Arudis KT. Just 25 milligrams is as effective as 400 of Motrin IV, 440 of Aleve, or 1,000 of Tylenol. Potent Arudis KT.
7 Up attitudes.
It's a given. It's the way it makes you feel. It's the lift that you get. It's a rhythm in your step, 'cause it's cool and it's wonderful and it's lemon and lime. 7 Up. It's an up thing. 7 Up. Does it every time. It's clear and it's wonderful and it's totally fine. 7 Up. Hey, it's an up thing.
Check out the hottest alternative music online.
With Ryder, you can drive off with great rates. So whether it's cross-town or cross-country, don't make a move without calling Ryder first. Call 1-800-GO-RYDER.
Taking care of business. Office Depot is bigger and better than ever. With more brand name office supplies than ever before. With more superstores nationwide. More top-brand business machines and computers. More software titles and computer accessories. More office supplies and furniture at guaranteed low prices nobody can beat.
Taking care of business.
Office Depot, taking care of business for companies of every size, everywhere, every day.
Mayo, sandwich?
No, wood stain on coffee table.
Learn the secrets of home repair on Fix It, weekdays only on FX.
Eric Clemens and Bill Moss back here in Edinburgh, Scotland. The Claymores comfortably ahead as we start the third quarter. Andy Kelly back at the helm for the Rhein Fire offense, trying to get something started, get his team back into the contest. 29-yard line. They give to Terry Richardson, and Richardson busts out across the 30 to about the 34-yard line. Call it a gain of almost 5. Mark Sander made the tackle.
And you know, Ryan came out, and they're trying to establish something now. You know, there's a big push on the offensive lineman right there. They got 4 yards on the carry. And now it's Kelly's back in the game, Andy Kelly, and he needs to make something happen for him. He needs to take this team downfield like he did early in the first quarter.
Kelly only 41 yards through the air in his time in the first half. Under some heavy pressure, gets it away. He was looking for Richardson out of the backfield. James Fuller was there on the coverage.
Well, again, you're going to see the pass rush up front. And if he could just buy him, if the guys up front could buy him another second, well, that was a very catchable ball. Terry Richardson should have caught that ball. But if he could just buy him another second, you know, that ball could have been more precisely thrown, and they can make something happen. So the guys up front really need to do their job to turn this thing around.
On the third down play, Kelly swings it out. Byron Chamberlain has first down yardage and more. He's run out of bounds by George Coghill at the 46-yard line.
And there they bought him time. Andy Kelly had the time. He sat in the pocket. Now watch Byron Chamberlain. He comes right across on the drag underneath the linebackers and the strong safety. Never got to the 5-yard margin where they can go ahead and pop them, and like they have been doing. Andy Kelly finds him, and he turns it right up the sidelines for a nice pickup and a first down.
Better start to the second half for Chamberlain, the leading receiver in the World League coming into the day, and the handoff goes to Derek Clark, who's trying to pick a hole. He might have gained a yard, for Joe O'Brien was there on the tackle. Jeffcoat as well. Chamberlain, 2 catches, 37 yards today, 36 catches coming into the game. So he's been neutralized, to say the least, so far.
In game 1 2 weeks ago, he only had 3 catches, and now he's right about the same. And the guy is a vital part of their offense, because every other team they play, he's got about 10 catches at the end of the day. So they're controlling him, and with that, they're controlling the offense of the Rhein Fire.
Second down and 9. Kelly swings it out of the backfield, but again, he was under heavy pressure, and down he went before he could really get his feet and throw it.
Well, look at the blue shirts in the backfield. There's a lot more blue shirts back there than there are white shirts. Andy Kelly's the lone white shirt back there, and that's not a good situation to be in if you're the quarterback.
So it'll be another third down situation for the Rhein Fire offense. 3rd and 8 from their 47-yard line. Boyd is split out to the near side. Chamberlain and Manley Wood split out on the top of your screen, and he goes deep down the sideline. That one intercepted. James Fuller comes up with his 5th pick of the year.
You know, Andy Kelly just felt like, oh, there's the dance. Look at the little dance James has going on. James Kelly feeling it's 3rd and long, and he has to make something happen for his team. But there's excellent man-to-man coverage down the field. You see James Fuller on Terry Richardson, stays with his man all the way, and at the very end, puts himself in between the ball and the receiver. Ended up in an interception.
Here's a guy who was huge last week against his former Frankfurt Galaxy teammates. 6 tackles, couple of interceptions, gets another one right there and sets his team up in good shape. 1st and 10 on the 36. Play fake by Matthews under some pressure, buys some time, comes near side and has his tight end Willie Tate who dropped the ball. Incomplete.
Well, Matthews was scrambling around back there and got out towards the near sidelines here and just threw the ball, but threw it a little short for Willie Tate. Willie Tate had to stop and come back on it. That ball was just underthrown and he trapped it against the ground.
James Fuller says he was fired up a little bit at the prospect of going against Byron Chamberlain, who he said likes to talk a little bit, and got him juiced for this game as well as last week's contest against Frankfurt. This is Rhein Stacy, who picks up about 6 yards as he cuts it back toward the middle. Anthony Fielding's made the stop.
Yeah, you know, James Fuller, he had a big game last week, but when you have an emotional game like that, you rise to a new level. What you really do, Eric, is you set a new standard for yourself. So if you go out one week and don't quite do that, what you did last week, you have not matched what you're capable of doing, and the coaches know it.
3rd down and 5 for the Claymores. Matthews looking to the near side, rolling this way, now in trouble. Throws it up for grabs, and it was almost intercepted. Mike Salmon was back there, Donald Douglas as well, and Matthews fortunate that one wasn't picked off.
Well, see, that's what I said Rhein needs to do, is if you shut down the run of Rhein Station, you take away La Chapelle and force number 12 to find other avenues of success, he's going to make mistakes. And right there, he should have thrown the ball out of bounds. He shouldn't have forced it downfield, because that should have been picked off.
So Paul McCallum punting for the 2nd time in the 2nd half, gets a high, nice punt down and drives Tommy Boyd back to his 13, and Boyd has a little room, gets it out across the 20 to the 24. Well, Rhein Fire will take over again and try to get something going on offense against Jim Kreiner's top-ranked defense in the World League. Back with more action from Murray Field here in Edinburgh in just a moment.
Hey, that car's dull and dry. Looks like it needs some body wet. No, not that. New Body Wet by Black Magic. It's the world's first clear car polish with the unique wet look. Body Wet gives you a shine that's so rich, so thick, it actually looks wet. Body Wet provides a deep gloss to all the painted surfaces of your car with a shine that's so durable and weather resistant, it lasts and lasts. How does it work? Body Wet contains a patent-pending tri-blend system of silicone acrylics and HCR polymeric polishing compounds. So, what does all that mean? Well, it means you get a shine so rich, so deep, so reflective, it actually looks wet. Body Wet by Black Magic can be applied to almost every surface of your car. Simply wipe it on, watch it bead up, then wipe it off. It's that easy. And the unique clear formula won't get stuck in the tight spots like those pasty products. It really is easy to give your car the most incredible high gloss finish you've ever seen. Careful, that car's wet. Just kidding. It's Body Wet for a shine so glossy you might think it's wet. Get a superior shine with the innovative Body Wet by Black Magic, the world's first clear polish with the unique wet look. Now only $14.95. And if you call today, we'll send you a 2nd bottle of Body Wet for just $5 more. But wait, we'll also give you the incredible Tire Wet by Black Magic absolutely free. One quick mist with Tire Wet and your tires will look brand new again. No wiping, no rubbing, no rinsing. Just wet it and forget it. It outlasts and outshines all other tire protectants on the market today. All this for just $19.95. So if your car looks dry, give Body Wet a try. Call now.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-369-2299. That's 1-800-369-2299, or send $14.95 for 1 bottle or $19.95 for 2 bottles with Tire Wet, plus $5.95 shipping and handling to Body Wet, P.O. Box 2978, Framingham, Massachusetts, or call 1-800-369-2299.
Eric Clemens and Bill Moss, joined here at Murray Field by the Scottish Claymores cheerleaders, working hard on this chilly day. I guess they have to keep moving around, Bill.
Yeah, well, you know, they're working hard, and so is the Scottish Claymores offense. You know, they're putting points up on the board and enjoying a nice lead out here. So it's the whole deal here. You got the cheerleaders going, and they're working hard. You got the offense working hard. Now it's a defense turn.
Of course, those smiles on their faces because this is the site of World Bowl 96 coming up June 23rd. Andy Kelly off the play fake. Hits. Looks like it might have been George Coghill made the hit. A big hit it was.
Well, it's a bootleg, and they try to set it up with a run, but George Coghill isn't fooled. He stays right in his position. He stays at home. He doesn't overrun the play, which looked like it was going to be a run play. And the hitman, look at him. Look at it. He looks like a hitman.
Coghill second on the team with 34 tackles. He really laid it to Manley Woods, who came underneath to catch that quick one out of the backfield. Kelly this time goes the other way to Antoine Carter, who has a lot of room, and a first down out to the 40-yard line before he's driven out of bounds. George Coghill on the stop there.
George Coghill's had a busy day. And Andy Kelly is doing something he hasn't done in the past, and that's finding other avenues of success. He's getting the ball out to the wide receivers. He's getting the ball out to the backs. You know, and for their offense, and then they take about 3 steps forward, and then the wheels fall off the cart. They need to maintain a drive, march it down the field, and put it in the end zone.
Scotland showing blitz. There's some flags down finally as Kelly goes deep down the near side looking for Manley Woods, and Corey Duckett was all over him stride for stride.
Ty Parton's down, and it appears to me he blew his knee. He jumped off sides, got in there, and as a defensive lineman, when you jump off sides, you have to finish the play. And he comes in there and he tries to finish the play, and he tries to go after Andy Kelly, not to give him the free shot downfield. And it looks like he tripped or got clipped by somebody, or might have slipped on turf, but he went down and he grabbed that knee.
See a couple of smiles out there as Parton being helped off, so maybe it's not as serious as it appeared before. At least the Claymores hope not. He missed a game or two earlier in the season because of an injury, and it really hurt this defense.
Repeat first down.
You see Ty Parton in the neutral zone, jacks up the center, knocks him down, then he sits there and says, oh, and then he remembers, I got to finish the play. So he tries to run back in there, and right there he tries to get a piece of Andy Kelly, and he slips on the turf, it looked like.
So on the offside penalty, 1st and 5 for Andy Kelly, who swings it out of the backfield to Jerome Davison, and Davison doesn't get much after catching the pass, maybe 2 yards on the play. Ty Parton being checked out on the sideline.
You see him to the right of your screen. See him jump in the middle there, then he blasts Cronenberg to center, blows him up, and then he says, oh, I didn't do it. Then he remembers he has to finish the play. So he starts running right there, and Cronenberg tried to trip him up. He falls down. You know, he's a guy who the scouts are really interested in. He started off the season well, had a little knee injury, missed a couple games, was back, was a big force last week, and he doesn't want to jeopardize being injured.
And he's running down there along the near side now, trying to cut a little bit, so he looks fine. Scotland has the total yardage edge. 223, 157. There's Parton.
You know, a lot of times when you get an injury and you come back in a couple weeks and you'll feel something in there click or tear, and you fall down and you'll grab it. It might be a shoulder, an elbow, or knee, or an ankle, and you think, oh no, I did it again. And you feel a little pain for a couple seconds, and then it's gone. And what that is, it's the scar tissue. It's the old scar tissue that built up from the first injury, and it'll rip or tear away and be gone, and then you realize you're fine.
And they could use the expertise of this guy, Ty Parton, as they host the World Bowl coming up on June 23rd, 6 p.m. British summertime. The Claymores will be playing somebody, the team with the 2nd best overall record in the World League. Emmett Waldron making the hit on that short yardage play.
You know, as a linebacker, you like a team that runs the ball, especially a middle linebacker. And there Emmett Waldron is. He sits there and waits in his hole and just waits for Derek Clark to come into it. And as he does, he wraps him up and knocks him backwards. That's when a linebacker's having a good time.
Big third down play right at midfield. 3rd and less than a yard. Kelly, play fake, now throws it deep down the near side, and it is in and out of the hands of Kevin Knox.
Safe, safe, safe.
You can't afford to do that. And that's why they haven't been getting the balls to the wide receiver. Because you drop. Now you're going to watch number 81 to the right side of your screen off the play action. And as he's coming into the picture, notice how white his jersey is. His jersey's white because he's not playing. And the reason he's not playing is because of drop balls like that. And on the other end of it, Kelly again is normal post-pass occurrences.
Kelly
knocked down to the ground.
Gets this one away. And that one's to Jerome Davidson, who was hit hard, but he picked up the first down, and Claymore knocked out of bounds all the way down to the Scottish Claymore 35-yard line. So on 4th down and short, they come up with a big play they needed.
They got to roll the dice. Your team's 1-4, and if you want any shot of doing anything the rest of the season, you have to make something happen. And punting the ball away and playing defense when things seem to be happening so well for the Scottish Claymores isn't going to make things happen.
First down from the 35, no flags, as you saw some movement along the Scotland defensive line. That one is thrown and caught by Kevin Knox, and Knox has another Rhein Fire first down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line, a pickup of 12.
Well, that time a nice grab by Kevin Knox. And a lot of times that's all it takes. One drop pass, and if you ever have the opportunity again to get the ball in the game, you're going to make sure you catch it. And that's what Kevin Knox does here. Andy Kelly with some nice time finds Knox over the middle. And he knows he's going to get hit by George Coghill, but he still finds a way to hold on to the ball.
Antoine Carter on the carry, and Carter doesn't get much. Emmett Waldron came knifing in there to make the tackle. No gain, maybe a yard on the play.
Emmett Waldron very active this game. You know, he's a national player, and he's in a lot of plays from Cork, Ireland. Isn't that correct? Yeah, he was in Cork, Ireland, and he went to school at Rice University. And the guy's a heck of a linebacker for him. I mean, he's not just in there because they need a national in there on any given possession. He's in there because he can play the position.
All at no gain on the play by Carter. 2nd and 10, and Kelly under heavy pressure just throws this one away. Out of bounds on the near side. It'll be 3rd and long. Pressure applied that time, it looked like, by Gerald Jeffcoat.
Brother of Jim Jeffcoat of the Dallas Cowboys. Played about 12, 13 years down there for him. And Andy Kelly's in a situation where it's 3rd and long, and he knows what to expect. And he knows what he's going to get, and he knows what he has to do. There he is, 11-19 on the day. And see the last 2 columns? 0 TDs and 1 interception. That's the problem. Those 2 columns are the problem. You need to reverse those.
Kelly has completed 59.9% of his passes coming into the day, but many of them not for big plays like this one. Byron Chamberlain catches it for another Rhein Fire first down. He gets down to close to the 10-yard line, inside the 10-yard line, where Rhein Fire in great shape now.
Well, when you spread the ball out and you get it to your wide receivers, then you can finally come back and get it to your tight end. And see what he does so well right there? It's the separation from the linebacker that is key when you're playing tight end. Because you know your tight end, the linebacker's going to get a piece of you. It's at that point that you have to have the separation. And right there, he had great separation and was able to get the first down. Now they're in scoring situation again, inside the 10-yard line.
More confusion on the Rhein Fire side of the ball on offense. The clock was winding down, the play clock, to about 3 seconds. And Andy Kelly takes the first time out. And he's going to go talk things over with the great Wes Chandler. Well, that great of the Chargers.
Okay, hold up, Marcus. The game clock was down. Okay.
What do you want? What do you want?
Okay. 3:31. 3:31.
Well, it looks like he's calling for the old 3:31, Eric.
Yeah, they're going to pinch you and blitz you. That's the only thing.
The 3:31 on the clock, maybe? Is that what he's talking about? Okay, 3:31 on the clock. We thought that might have been the play, huh?
Well, you got 3:03 up there right now.
Right. Again, Kelly completed almost 60% of his passes, but much of the stuff, the short dump-off type passes to, of course, Clark and his tight end Chamberlain. And not many big plays, but he's had a couple to sustain this drive.
And they get down there, and it's the same old story. Now they're to 10, and there's confusion. They had to call wasted timeout. They're not on the same page. They do something great, and then they fall back.
Lengthy drive continuing for the Rhein Fire. First down on the 8. Kelly with all kinds of time. Now he throws in the end zone and throws that one away as everyone was covered on that one.
Tommy Stowers, number 89. You see him get into the linebacker there? Arnold Ali gets him shucked up and then releases from him, and Andy Kelly was trying to find him but didn't see him to the right side of the end zone and threw the ball away in the back of the left.
On 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line. Kelly, quick hitter, and that one, Corey Duckett came up as it was intended for Manley Woods. Duckett thought he had smelled it and almost had an interception, but Woods, in the meantime, almost had a catch.
Well, Corey Duckett does a great job of playing man-to-man coverage. He's up on him in a squat position. See him right there? Then he closes on the ball as the ball's thrown. Excellent awareness of where the receiver is and where the ball's coming, because he can't give up the end zone in that situation.
3rd down and goal to go from the 9. 2 receivers split out to the top of your screen. Kelly going end zone, caught. Byron Chamberlain, touchdown, his 6th of the year, and Rhein Fire trying to climb back into it. It's now 24-12.
Well, they finally put a drive together. They found a way. And, you know, we said that Scotland was losing some of their momentum going into halftime. They came out and tried to generate some new momentum with the onside kick. They got it, recovered it, but Rhein never quit. They held them to 3 and out. Then they got the ball back and moved it downfield, but had some problems. And the second time they got it back, they marched down and go in for a touchdown. This is new life now for Rhein Fire.
Manfred Bergsmuller attempting the extra point. It's up and through. And now Rhein Fire makes a statement, climbs back into it. It is now a 24-13 game in favor of the Scottish Claymores. And we look at the touchdown again. Byron Chamberlain, his 6th touchdown catch of the year, bringing Rhein Fire back.
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan.
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
Hollywood Pictures presents Leslie Nielsen as a secret agent with a license to spill. He's going into the line of fire in the year's biggest cliffhanger. When the mission's this impossible, only one man's up to speed.
Next stop, Melrose, I think.
Spy Hard.
Houston, we have a problem.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, May 24th.
On the next Back Chat, we'll tell you who made the most guest appearances on Fantasy Island.
We'll also clue you into the real meaning of Back Chat Rock.
And look, everybody, it's Robert Urich. That's Back Chat. That's Back Chat, today, 4, 3 Central.
Every town has its share of conflict.
I'm a transsexual.
My daughter's in his class.
Every town has its share of tragedies.
Is he going to die?
Dear God in heaven. And through all the struggles,
I don't even know who you are anymore.
every family must find a way to triumph.
The good in this world still outweighs the evil.
The people, the problems, the solutions. Take a look beyond the picket fences. Weekends at 7, 6 Central on FX.
We're on fire.
Today on Personal FX, this robot sold for over $400.
Monday on Personal FX, more hidden treasures and a super collection of Mission furniture.
That's coming up on Monday's edition of Personal FX.
Back at Murray Field, Rhein Fire, thanks to Byron Chamberlain's 6th touchdown reception of the year, climbing back in it. Now cut the deficit to 11. The kickoff is high and short, and that one bounces. Lee Gissendaner is going to try to corral it back at his 12 and barely does before he's swarmed over by the Rhein Fire kick coverage. 13 plays, 75-yard march. They ate up 6:37 before Chamberlain caught his 6th touchdown of the year.
Well, Byron Chamberlain, the tight end, has been taken away through most part of this game, but here, look at the throw by Andy Kelly. I mean, George Coghill was on him all the way until the very end, but Kelly makes a great throw. And look, he's excited there for once. I mean, they said he's hot and cold. I mean, he's like Sybil. We've seen 6 different Andy Kellys, and that time he threw a nice ball.
Need to see a sustained drive for the Scottish Claymores if they want to stay in control, and they run the pitch with Saran Stacy to the far side. Stacy picks up about 5 before he's brought down by a host of Rhein Fire on the far side. So a pretty good start as they get it deep in their own territory at their 11-yard line.
Well, you know, Saran Stacy is one key component in this offense, and the other is Sean LaChapelle. Now, Saran has not been stopped thus far. They haven't taken him out of it. But they really minimized the effect of what LaChapelle has done thus far.
Saran Stacy takes the handoff again, struggles up for another pickup of 3, maybe 4 yards. He'll be within 1.5 yards or 2 of first down yardage for Scotland, as Lance Teichelman made the tackle there.
And, you know, right here is a big 3rd down for the Rhein Fire. I mean, twice now they've been able to put out the fire, so to say, of the Scottish Claymores offense and take advantage of field position. And they can do that again right here and get the ball back to their offense by getting out right now.
Their favorite play, the pitch to Saran Stacy, who gets plenty as he gets up to the 25-yard line. That'll be first down yardage as he picked up another 5.
Yeah, and you had to know that was coming. I mean, eye backs, you see them run it all the time. Anytime they're in eye backs, they line up like that, you know what play they're coming with. They run it all the time. They pull the guard, and then Caiello's leading the way, and Percy Snow tries to hurdle over everybody and make a play, but just enough yards for the first down to keep the drive alive.
Both receivers split out to the near side. And Matthews swings it out to Stacy, who has some room. Stacy dances his way back inside, gets close to first down yardage again at the 35-yard line. Percy Snow made the stop there.
You know, Saran Stacy is just turning this offense into his own personal show. It's whatever he can do. They throw him the ball out in the flat, he picks up yards. They hand him the ball in eye backs, he picks up yards. I mean, he's really a guy that if you're a defense, you've got to find a way to eliminate him.
They're going to measure, see if Saran Stacy actually picked up first down yardage on that catch and run. And he did. First down, Saran Stacy came in with 20 receptions, 2nd on the team, averaging 6.5 yards a catch, and of course his 550 total yards, tops in the World League. That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. So the Scottish Claymores on the move as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Scotland up 24-13 and on the march when we come back.
Budweiser.
You know, I'd still be using Tylenol for my headaches if it wasn't for my doctor. He told me about Arudis KT.
82% of doctors surveyed have prescribed Arudis, and now it's available in a non-prescription strength. New Arudis KT. So potent, just 25 milligrams is as effective as 1,000 milligrams of extra-strength Tylenol.
Just 25 milligrams of Arudis KT takes care of my tough headaches.
New Arudis KT, the potent medicine for pain.
7 Up attitudes. It's a given. It's the way it makes you feel. wonderful, and it's totally fine. Hey, it's an up thing.
Where is the one place to carbonate your brain?
On the next Super Collectors, we've got a hull of a collection for you. Get it? Hull pottery. We've also got Majolica pottery, and we're going to show you how you can identify your pottery. It'll crack you up.
That's Super Collectors today, 3:30, 2:30 Central, only on FX.
Tonight on Lost and Found, turn the clock back to 1975.
Balboa Pork Bucks, undefeated, baby.
And play ball.
Might be a little heavier.
Lost and Found, tonight, only on FX.
Today's game has been brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of football wherever it's played. This Bud's for you. And by Orudis KT, the potent medicine for pain. And by 7-Up, it's an up thing. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team.
Welcome back to Murray Field in Edinburgh. Eric Clemens and Bill Moss. 15 minutes of football remaining, and Scotland holding to an 11-point lead. And there's a man whose name we haven't called that much in this game, Sean LaChapelle.
Yeah, well, you know, they're resting him. He's had an ankle problem and a shoulder problem, and now's a good time to sit back and let these things get well. They don't need his shoulders and arms and legs today.
They can, and they often do use the legs of Saran Stacy, and Stacy goes off the left side, picks up about 3.
Well, there you see, you know, Sean, 0 receptions today. And let's rest this guy, because he's done so much for this team thus far. I mean, he leads the whole world league in yardage receptions, passing yards, and, you know, he's a guy that, let's put Cooper out there. Let's put Scott Cooper out there, and let's get him some reps.
On 2nd and 8. Play fake. Matthews going deep over the middle and has his man, Yo Murphy. Yo Murphy makes the catch, and Matthews was flattened, slow to get up.
Yeah, I said let's get Scott Cooper some reps, and let's get Yo Murphy some reps, too. He's the other receiver on this team. Number 83 is going to be left of your screen. Play action again, of course. Keep the linebackers in check. And he throws the ball. He finds a nice break off of the cornerback. And that's Larry Kennedy, number 22, that Yo Murphy gets away from there. And on the other end of it, Matthews makes a nice throw, knowing he's going to take a lick at the end of the pass.
A good old sandwich lick, 2 of them. And Saran Stacy coming up the near side. Stacy picks up about 4 as he gets close to the 40-yard line of the Rhein Fire. And pretty close in total yards as we wrap up the game, but Saran Stacy again being the Saran Stacy we used to see.
Yeah, take a look at 149 total yards. And now he's about 700 yards on the season. My quick arithmetic is somewhere close in that vicinity.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, hey, this is a guy that if you can't shut down the run on this team, makes it for a long afternoon.
Matthews to go up top again. Swings it out to Yo Murphy once again, and Murphy still on his feet. Murphy down to close to the 30-yard line. So it's another first down for the Scottish Claymores.
Well, yeah, you know, we said Sean LaChapelle's out. And in his place comes Yo Murphy. And there he just gets right underneath the linebackers. He comes from the top of the screen, and he comes right underneath the zone coverage. And like any good West Coast offense, once you get the ball, you want yards after catch, and that's what Yo Murphy just gave him.
Stoppage of play on the field. The Scotland march will continue. Scotland leading by 11, 12:38 to go.
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan.
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
When Irish Spring asked the town of Keneally if it could borrow the scent of its waterfall for Waterfall Clean, the folks were happy to oblige.
With its refreshing scent and antibacterial protection, Waterfall Clean leaves you feeling as clean and sparkling as the waterfall itself.
One small problem.
What's that?
They want their picture on the box.
Irish Spring Waterfall Clean. It's fresh, it's blue.
And you like it too.
One of the ways Ryder makes your move easier is by renting trucks with automatic transmission. Because moving doesn't have to be an uphill battle. Ryder, we're there when you need us.
Hi, I'm Emmett, and I'm a cowboy. This is my hat. These are my boots. These are my horses. This is where they graze. And this is my ranch. No matter whose brand is on the front gate. This is my territory. This is my zone. This is my planet.
I wasn't satisfied with my headache medicine. And then my doctor told me about Arudis.
Now in non-prescription strength, Arudis KT. Just 25 milligrams is as effective as 400 of Motrin IV, 440 of Aleve, or 1,000 of Tylenol. Potent Arudis KT.
They crawl, they hop, they slither. They're pets, and they won't be stopped! Unless you watch the Pet Department, only on FX. If you miss it, be very afraid.
12:38 to go here at Murray Field in Edinburgh. The Scottish Claymores holding to an 11-point advantage. And Chris Dawson in at center for Lanzino, who was taking some attention on the sideline here. The give goes to Stacy, who was trying to find some room, bounced it back outside, but didn't get much. Set up 2nd and 10. Donald Douglas came up to force and made the tackle.
And there you see Dawson, you know, he comes into the game. And it's tough when you come into the game to try to get in the swing of things. You know, he comes in the 4th quarter. Not only does he have to know his assignments, get in there and play, but he's a center. I mean, he has to think of the snap count, the play, his assignment, and snap the ball, too.
Here's a guy who Coach Kreiner said has gotten a lot of attention from scouts just from seeing him on a film in practice. This will be a 2nd down. And close to 11 yards to go as Matthews will put it upstairs. Goes over the middle and has Lee Gissendaner, and Gissendaner gets inside the 25 to the 23.
Like I said, Chris Dawson comes in and he's got to do it all. He's got to snap the ball and look, and right here he's got to get his pass protection. See, he helps out Tom Barnt there, he gives a little shuck, then he looks over, and if anyone comes in, he's ready to help Purvis Hunt. Then he runs downfield and gets a big shot in there on Percy Snow. I mean, when you're sitting for 3 quarters, you got a little anxiety build up in you. You want to get in there and lick somebody.
Evidently. It'll be 3rd down and 3. The pitch to Stacy. Stacy with room. Stacy a 1st down inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Douglas and Anthony Fieldings on the stop, but too late. 1st down, Scotland.
Yeah, there's that play again. And, you know, the guy leading the charge, watch 79, big Purvis Hunt, okay? He has, like, tailpipes coming out his pants because he's the size of a car. He turns the corner first and walls off the whole side. And there's no defender can get by him, and he leads that opening, and it's a 1st down, Scotland.
Purvis Hunt listed at 6'4" and 378. He is a load at the right guard spot. And this is Saran Stacy once again, battles forward for another 3.
And that's off the right side, too, and there's a big fella. You know, Purvis Hunt, look at him. I mean, where do you find a shirt to go over all that? He's huge, he's enormous. Look, 383 pounds, but see his kilograms? It's 174. Now, if I'm Purvis Hunt, I'm walking around, I want to tell people I weigh 174 kilograms. It sounds good, you know? How much you weigh, Purvis? 174 kilograms.
Except the people who know the measurement of the systems, the pounds to kilograms, I tell you. Matthews goes far side, and Jarrett Kaihalo was the intended receiver over there. A lot of green around him, but that one was a bit underthrown, it looked like.
Yeah, it was a bad throw, and, you know, at this point in the game, that ball has been all over the wet turf. And look at that right there. The dog pound. Matt Storm, probably up in Cleveland he was. Now I guess he's gone to the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore dog pound.
On 3rd down and 8. Matthews steps up in the pocket, goes in zone. And that one was almost caught. No flag on the play. A little bit of contact.
Hey, there was some contact there. And Scott Cooper has every right to be upset. Because Jamal Ellis made contact with him as the ball was being thrown right at the end zone. See at the back, it's pass interference, no question about it.
No call on the play, so Paul McCallum will tee it up from the 23-yard line, call it a 33-yard attempt to add to Scotland's 11-point lead. And he left that one outside the right upright. No good. Wide right. So Rhein Fire catches a break.
They've been catching some breaks. I mean, they didn't get the pass interference down there. They missed a field goal. They had an opportunity to score. And, you know, Rhein is a team that scores all its points in the 4th quarter. You know, they get this thing started real slow. They had 6 points in the 1st quarter all year long, and then about 12 and 15 through the 2nd, 13th quarter. But they have like 50 points in the 4th quarter. So this is their quarter to try to get something done.
Rhein Fire taking over on its own 24-yard line. Andy Kelly trying to put together another march. No flags there, though we saw some movement. And Kelly gets it off near side and has a completion to Byron Chamberlain. George Coghill brought him down, and another look at the smiling faces earlier today. The Power Party, introducing the Scottish fans to American football.
Yeah, and the atmosphere around here is really growing. You know, they were 2-8 last year, and everybody was just skeptical about this team coming into Scotland. But now they got this thing rolling. They're hosting the World Bowl, and everybody's excited about it.
You talked earlier about Rhein Fire's ability to put some points on the board in the 4th quarter. They need to do it now as Andy Kelly back to pass, looks over the middle, and has Chamberlain once again. He crosses midfield, gets down close to the 40-yard line before he's brought down by George Coghill, Arnold Ale, and James Fuller.
Yeah, and now what they're doing is buying Andy Kelly time. Okay? Watch the middle of the pocket. See the passing lane out Andy Kelly has? There's nobody there. There's nobody in his face, so he can set up and take his time and complete the ball to Byron Chamberlain. It turns upfield and picks him up a couple extra. Now they're down there in Scotland territory. Let's make something happen.
Give to Terry Richardson, and Mark Sander knifed through to get him in the backfield before that play even got started.
Not in close, they're going to bring the heat like that, okay? But I think what we got to do is to stay tight inside. Because like on the bust, if they bring the extra guy off the corner, we're short one guy. So we'll stay strong side.
Coach Kreiner, they're trying to cipher out the problems that have arose for him here in the 2nd half offensively. They haven't been able to move downfield as quickly as they have in the 1st half, Eric.
Especially the first 4 possessions. They scored points in their first 4 possessions of the game. Now they're trying to keep Rhein Fire off the scoreboard. Another completion. Terry Richardson on the far side of the field, and Richardson gets down to inside the 35-yard line, down close to the 32, very close to a first down. He'll be about 1.5 yards short.
Yeah, look at what they're doing now. I mean, for Rhein Fire, they've really utilized everybody. They've utilized the running backs, the tight end, the wide receivers. They're doing what they came here to do. You know, there's nothing been taken away from them. They can use everybody. Now they don't need to make any mistakes.
On 3rd and 2, Derek Clark, and Clark fighting for first down yardage. He'll be very close. Time now a big enemy of the Rhein Fire. As we're inside of 7 minutes to go in the contest, Clark picks up the first down.
Yeah, but if they can take big chunks of yardage like they've done on this drive right here, they can get down the end zone rather quick. They'll be right back in this thing.
Andy Kelly Much more productive on the afternoon, especially since the touchdown pass late in the third quarter to Byron Chamberlain. He hits his tight end once again, and Chamberlain down to the 20-yard line before he's brought down by Shannon Jones. Now Chamberlain looking like the Byron Chamberlain we're used to seeing in this Rhein Fire attack.
Yeah, and the reason that is because their other avenues have worked effectively. See right here on Shannon Jones, he makes separation quick. Shannon Jones thinks he's going to run the seam, and then when he stops, he doesn't have the ability to recover quick enough. But they have to protect the other guys, the wide receivers from the backs, and that's opening things up now for Chamberlain.
And Chamberlain goes in motion to the far side. The give goes to Terry Richardson, who has a big hole, and Richardson will score. Touchdown, and Rhein Fire is right back in it. 24-19.
Well, I said they're getting everybody involved in it, and that's exactly what they did on that drive. You saw Chamberlain, you saw wide receiver, you saw Derek Clark, and then they come back after they get him off balance, and they come back with a draw play. And there, Terry Richardson takes advantage of it. They get the lineman rushing upfield real quick, and the hole opens up.
Now, Rhein Fire, probably to get within a field goal, will go for the two-point conversion. And Manley Woods appears confused as to where he's supposed to go. Play clock down to 7, and more confusion for Rhein Fire on that two-point conversion effort. All right. What will Galen Hall and Wes Chandler call for the Rhein Fire as they go for two? We'll find out when we come back with more of the fourth quarter in a moment.
7 Up Attitudes.
It's a given. It's the way it makes you feel. It's the lift that you get. It's a rhythm in your step, 'cause it's cool and it's wonderful and it's lemon and lime. 7 Up. It's an up thing. 7 Up. Does it every time. It's clear and it's wonderful and it's totally fine. 7 Up. Hey, it's an up thing.
Check out the hottest alternative music online.
One of the ways Ryder makes your move easier is with a computerized reservation system that makes short work of paperwork. Because the sooner you get your move started, the sooner you're finished. Ryder, we're there when you need us.
Wines this good must be guarded with care. That's why Franzia comes in an airtight pouch that protects the fresh taste to the last glass. Maybe that's why it's America's favorite wine.
What you doing?
Stopped up.
Vinegar? Baking soda.
Learn the secrets of home repair on Fix It, weekdays, only on FX.
Every day, America Online is making it easier for people to live, work, and play.
Hey, Dan, ready for the game?
I can't go to the game today.
What?
I got to send my mom a birthday gift, then book plane tickets for our trip next week, and my kids got to go to the library to look up dinosaurs.
Hey, we can take care of that right now with America Online.
We can?
Yeah, we can send your mom flowers, order those plane tickets. We can even look up dinosaurs in Compton's Encyclopedia.
With America Online, you get instant news and sports, financial updates, online magazines, and easy access to the internet. Call now for your free America Online startup kit and 15 free online hours.
Flowers are sent, plane tickets are booked. Here come the dinosaurs.
That's great.
Downloading's easy. I can even send an email on the internet. And we'll check it all out later, after the game.
So how do you get America Online?
Well, that's easy, too. You just call their 800 number.
Call 1-800-705-1770 now for your free America Online startup kit with free software and 15 free online hours. It's everything you need to get online, so call 1-800-705-1770.
Eric Clemens and Bill Moss back at Murray Field here in Edinburgh, and Galen Hall calling for the two-point conversion to put his team to within 3. Richardson in motion to the far side. Kelly, the quick throw is batted away by Herman Carroll. Herman Carroll got the big paw up and knocked it down.
Yeah, and in my opinion, they never should have gone for the 2 points anyhow. I mean, they're playing for a tie on the road. You never play to be in a tie on the road. Now it's 19, and if they scored touchdown, it's 26, and a field goal for Scotland would win the game for them. We'll take a look. We'll go back to the touchdown. And Terry Richardson on the draw. Whole thing springs open to the right side of the offensive line. Chamberlain in there also. Watch him. He comes in motion. He comes down there, and he helps spring the whole thing. Not a devastating block by any means, but just gets his hands on Shannon Jones just enough to buy him time, and see Richardson scoot by him right there. And sometimes that's all you need. But, you know, a real blocking tight end when there knocks somebody's helmet off.
7 plays, 76 yards for Galen Hall's offense, 338. And Andy Kelly perfect through the air, 4 for 4 for 51 yards on that drive. They showed some balance there. They showed all the tools that Galen Hall told us he thought the team had, but they only exhibit those tools once in a while.
You're exactly right, and they exhibited them, and the way they march down the field, they've got a little momentum. So why go for 2 when you have the ability to do that same thing again?
High short kick comes down to Marcus Thomas. And Thomas trying to find his wedge on the near side, and does, out across the 40. Thomas out across the 50 to the 48-yard line of Rhein Fire, and just when Scotland needed a spark, they get it from Marcus Thomas on the kickoff.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And we saw that we saw that return 3 times now, Eric, the fake reverse, and it's got him out to the 50-yard line twice now. That's a breakdown in coverage. You have to have outside shoulder force on special teams on kickoffs. And nobody on the cover team for Rhein Fires had that at all.
Marcus Thomas, 2nd year with this ball club. Big kickoff return. The swing pass goes to Saran Stacy, who tries to explode through a hole and gets out close to the 40-yard line. Call it a pickup of 8 on that swing pass. Larry Kennedy brought him down.
Yeah, well, the swing pass of theirs, as we're calling it, it's actually a screen. Watch 71 come out of the picture. See that? That's a screen. And in the World League, in American football, the lineman can release early. And he comes out of there real quick, gets downfield, and gets in front of the corner or the safety, and then they flip it out there to Saran, and it's given him a lot of yardage.
Well, with the margin only 5 points, Sean LaChapelle back in the game. He is split out wide to the near side to give to Saran Stacy, who has some room and picks up first down yardage before his forward progress is stopped. So it'll be a first down for Scotland. They'll spot the ball at about the 37-yard line of Rhein Fire.
Yeah, and that says a lot too, Eric. You know, now they've got a close ball game. They know they're in a dogfight, and off the bench comes Sean LaChapelle. You know what he has done for this team. It's just been amazing.
Ron Dickerson in the game now. He goes in motion to the far side, and Matthews swings it out, but swings it behind Stacy, who falls on it just in case they called it a lateral and not a forward pass, but it's ruled incomplete on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for Steve Matthews, whose team has not gotten on the scoreboard since the 2nd quarter.
And right now, Rhein needs to stop anything that Scotland is trying to do to stay in the ball game. Because like you talked about earlier, now they're not only playing against them, they're playing against the clock.
On 2nd and 10, Saran Stacy almost tripped in the backfield. In fact, he is. Percy Snow came knifing through to disrupt the whole thing.
Yeah, Percy Snow knew exactly what was coming. He saw the offset backs, and he knew the play was going to go to his right, the offensive left. And he came blowing through the gap there and just got a hand on the shoelace, it looked like, of Saran Stacy, enough to trip him up. And now it's 3rd and 13, a situation that defensively, like we said, they want to be in.
Saran Stacy, another superb afternoon of football, 176 total yards on 3rd down and long. Going over the middle is Matthews, and he short hopped that one in as he was looking for Yo Murphy.
Yeah, he was looking for him, but what he ended up seeing was the dirt, because James Roberson came and put a lick on him and just knocked him right to the ground as he was throwing it. Watch number 72, Roberson. Okay, he steps right around the corner of Keith Wagner, number 78, and as he does that, he finds Steve Matthews and hits him as he's releasing the ball.
So again, the Rhein Fire defense comes through and stops Scotland's march. Paul McCallum, high punt. And Tommy Boyd will fair catch it at his 9. Coming up next week here in the World League, it'll be week number 7 and some key action. Rhein Fire against the Barcelona Dragons. Rhein Fire will return home to Dusseldorf. Scotland, a rematch, the revenge maybe for Frankfurt right here at Murray Field. And London facing the Amsterdam Admirals, White Hart Lane in London.
Yeah, you know, Frankfurt's coming in here next week, and they've got to be scratching their heads at some of the problems they've had today and last week.
Rhein Fire with 3:07 to go needs to put together another mark. Andy Kelly to put it up in the air. And he gets Jerome Davison, and Davison is really hit hard by James Williams on the near side.
Well, somebody must have talked to the offensive line of the Rhein Fire, because they're really buying him time. See the protection he has? Now watch the passing lane. Nobody's in front of him again. Remember I talked about before the open view he has of the whole field?
That was Terry Richardson on the catch. Correction there. On second down, Kelly dumps it, has his man. Davidson this time, and Davison gets first down yardage and more out across the 20 to the 23. Arnold Ali on the stop.
Yeah, and Andy Kelly is hot right now. You know, Galen Hall said he's hot and cold. Well, right now he's hot, and he's been hot the second half. He has the hot hand. He sits in there and lets the rush come upfield right in front of him just enough until there's an opening underneath the linebackers and the rush, and he finds Davidson there.
Chamberlain was in motion to the far side. Kelly, another quick dump off. And he picks up about 7 yards on this one as Davidson makes the catch. Ali again on the stop. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. Galen Hall trying to put a game plan together for his offense to get another touchdown. We'll be back with more from Murray Field in a moment.
Experience the excitement of your favorite Olympic events, now in commemorative cans of Bud, Bud Light, and Bud Ice. Better yet, if you get one of these special gold cans, you could see the games live in Atlanta. Look for Grab the Gold details wherever you see Bud Family Olympic packages. Just another part of the Bud World Party.
Once upon a time, there was a fairy princess who looked a lot like you. And she had a magic wand, too.
Action Lane remembers the old porch gliders, but ours have comfortable padding and a unique gliding mechanism for a smoother, gentler ride indoors.
Once upon a time, there was a fairy princess who your grandpa used to say looked just like me.
Introducing the new glider recliner from Action Lane. Call 1-800-700-1233 for your local dealer and a free buyer's guide.
With Ryder, you can drive off with great rates. So whether it's cross-town or cross-country, don't make a move without calling Ryder first. Call 1-800-GO-RYDER.
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan.
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint Cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint Cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
I wasn't satisfied with my headache medicine. Then my doctor told me about Arudis.
Now in non-prescription strength, Arudis KT. Just 25 milligrams is as effective as 400 of Motrin IV, 440 of Aleve, or 1,000 of Tylenol. Potent Arudis KT.
Eric Clemens and Bill Moss back at Murray Field in Edinburgh, and Galen Hall knows a little something about offense, and Bill, his offense with that man at the helm is red hot so far here in the fourth quarter.
Well, he's red hot, and he has to be hot on this drive because Andy Kelly's not only battling them, he's battling the clock, and they need a touchdown on this drive.
On second down and 5, Kelly to the air again, comes near side. Has Terry Richardson out of the backfield. He has first down yardage up close to the 40, is driven out by James Williams and Mark Sander.
And right now, Scotland's defense is really confused, and they have been the whole second half. You see, Rhein Fire's used up all its timeouts, and they're going to have to work the clock by throwing these out and stopping as they get closer towards the end zone.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line of Rhein Fire. Kelly to the air again, goes out of the backfield to Davison, and Davison dives for the sidelines to try to stop the clock, and he does after picking up 7 yards on the play, and it'll set up 2nd and 3.
Okay. Let's go stick it again. 6, 7, 7. 7, 581, 381.
Kelly hits Davison again out of the backfield, and Davison stopped a little short of the 1st down by James Fuller. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, and the clock's running too. So they have to line up right now, and Andy Kelly has to call a play. And they don't have time to down it because they need a 1st down right here.
And Kelly dumps it out of the backfield and has his man right at midfield. Mark Sander brings him down, and that's Jerome Davison once again. So another 1st down, but the clock now the worst enemy of Rhein Fire.
Yeah, they're under a minute. Well, a minute 3 as Andy Kelly downs the ball and stops the clock. And now it's 2nd and 10, and they're at the 50. They've got 50 yards to go to score, and what they've been able to do effectively to the Scotland defense is go to the left, go to the right, short pass, long pass, keep them off balance type of thing, draw play. But now, with time running out, a minute left, they don't have the luxury of keeping them off balance. They've got to get the ball downfield.
Andy Kelly will attempt to do just that. He has a split backfield. And off the play fake, Kelly going down the middle, has his man. Kelly has his tight end, Byron Chamberlain, down inside the 30-yard line.
Okay, tell him to get off. You got an off signal for Byron?
In the hurry-up offense. Kelly spikes it again to stop the clock at 43 seconds to go. So Rhein threatening to get a victory here if they take it on into the end zone.
You know, they've been able to stop Byron Chamberlain for the whole entire 1st half, but the 2nd half, he's really played a big part in their offense. And right here, they're not getting the stop on him at the line of scrimmage because 34 George Coghill, he has to play back. He's playing a zone. He has to be back. So the linebackers are isolated on Chamberlain, and it's no matchup.
On 1st and 10 from the 27, Kelly, good time, throws it away to the near side. Everyone covered that time, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. 37 seconds to go. It'll be 3rd down and 10, correction. 3rd down and 10 for Kelly, who spiked that 1st down play.
Yeah, and now it's getting real critical for Andy Kelly.
And the use of timeouts being confused earlier, especially on the 2-point conversion attempt, really hurt about now.
And if they fall short and don't score here, it'll be the same situation Ryan always has. The mistakes have killed them. But they're still going to have a couple shots here at the end zone.
On 3rd and 10, Kelly. Under some heavy pressure, gets away, trying to buy some time. He better throw it in a hurry. He cannot. Gerald Jeffcoat forces him out of bounds on a big sack, and that's all the way back to the 40-yard line.
That was a big sack, and it was a big mistake by Andy Kelly of not getting rid of that ball. He avoids the 1st sack right here. David Webb, number 59, he eludes him, but he's got to get rid of the ball. He's got to throw the ball to somebody to get rid of it, throw it out of bounds, because now he's back at the 40 with 29 seconds left, and it's 4th down.
They've got to get to the 18-yard line to pick up a fresh set of downs, and now the play clock is run out.
And another 5 yards
against the Rhein Fire.
And that in itself should sum up everything the Rhein Fire has done in the 1st half of the season. They have the opportunities to get down there. They make good plays offensively and defensively, but mistakes and penalties and miscommunication has hurt this team.
So with 29 seconds to go, Galen Hall watches and sees if Andy Kelly and his offense can come up with a fourth down, and 27. Knocked away. Shannon Jones, and the Scottish Claymores will escape this one barely.
Yeah, well, Shannon Jones in the second half had his hands full because they were doing so many other things offensively that he didn't have any safety help on the tight end, which is Byron Chamberlain. But on that play right there, he finally redeems himself for all those little plays he gave up to Byron Chamberlain by making a nice play on the ball. You see he's beat, but what he does is he plays the ball. He gets his hands on it and deflects it and gets the ball back to the offense, which they're going to take a knee.
Rhein Fire unable to stop the clock with no timeouts left, so with 24 ticks, this should do it. Steve Matthews takes a knee, and the Scottish Claymores, who did not score a single point since the second quarter, will hold on for a hard-fought 24-19 victory, moving to 5-1 on the season overall. Rhein Fire now drops to 1-5.
Yeah, that's tough for Rhein Fire. I mean, where do you go from here when you're with that team? I mean, you have no chance of getting to the World Bowl.
Good job.
Good job. Good job, Coach. And you can see the look on Galen Hall's face there. Percy Snow, the guys. I mean, it's just utter disappointment. Every week they go through this.
Every week they seem to get off to a slow start, fight their way back in it, only to lose it at the end. And after a while, I mean, you've been on teams that have struggled before, I'm sure, in your career. It just has to start eating at a player, and you really start to wonder whether it's all worth it going through an experience like that.
Yeah, I can remember one year we were the Chiefs. We lost 7 games by a total of 9 points. It was the most frustrating thing. I mean, you know, those 7 games could have put us into a playoff situation. Not only that, a home field playoff situation. And it's very frustrating. But what it comes down to is the mistakes, the penalties, the discipline, the consistency of these players. They don't have it with the Rhein Fire, and it's costing them ball games every week.
So the Scottish Claymores move to 5-1 with the 5-point victory over Rhein Fire. We'll be back with more here from Murray Field in just a moment.
The sun's up at Bay Hill, and what a lovely day for a drive. But don't forget to keep your head down, because Bay Hill is Arnold Palmer's place, and the rough edges are there by design. So who helps the business end of this legendary club run smoothly? Office Depot.
Taking care of business.
Office Depot guarantees low prices and 100% satisfaction. Because when you're responsible for the big picture, even small details are important.
Taking care of business.
One of the ways Ryder makes your move easier is by renting trucks with automatic transmission. Because moving doesn't have to be an uphill battle. Ryder, we're there when you need us.
Wines this good must be guarded with care. That's why Franzia comes in an airtight pouch that protects the fresh taste to the last glass. Maybe that's why it's America's favorite wine.
Hi, this is Malcolm Shower from the Amsterdam Avenue.
I'm Andre Hewitt of Scottish Claymores.
I'm Steve Brooks from the Frankfurt Galaxy.
And you're watching FX.
FX invites you to solve a mathematical word problem.
I'll try.
If 8 kids live in one house with 1 parent, 1 step-parent, 8 visiting in-laws, divided by 3 bathrooms, times 10 loads of dirty laundry, how long will it take for Tom Bradford to totally lose control?
45 seconds.
I quit.
Watch 8 is Enough on FX today at 1 noon Central and solve all of life's tricky problems.
Me? Prom queen?
Well, maybe not all.
On the next Back Chat, we'll tell you who made the most guest appearances on Fantasy Island.
We'll also clue you into the real meaning of Back Chat Rock.
And look, everybody, it's Robert Urich. That's Back Chat. That's Back Chat, today, 4, 3 Central.
We're on fire.
Today on Personal FX, this robot sold for over $400.
Monday on Personal FX, more hidden treasures and a super collection of Mission furniture.
That's coming up on Monday's edition of Personal FX.
Eric Clemens and Bill Moss back at Murray Field here in Edinburgh, Scotland. Scottish cheerleaders quite happy because their Claymores hold on for a 5-point victory, holding off the Rhein Fire of Galen Hall, who is standing by on the sidelines to join us right now. And Coach, thanks a lot for being with us. First of all, again, you get off to the slow start in terms of the scoreboard, and you fall short at the end again this season.
Well, that's been the story all year. We spot them too many points, come back, fight back, and end up in the short end. Our guys played hard the second half, but we can't give teams 24 points and come back.
Coach Bill Moss, again, sorry to see what happened. It's like your team self-destructs. You do something good, you have your good moments, you move the ball downfield, and then all of a sudden penalties, mistakes have been haunting you all season.
Well, yeah, they have. I mean, but still, we had our shots tonight and didn't take advantage of them.
Coach, how Chamberlain was pretty much shut down a bit in the first half. How were you able to establish him? He pretty much was dominant for you in the second half of play. What was the key to that?
Well, he's that type of player. The key was getting him off the line of scrimmage. They did a great job holding him up the first half. We started using some motion with him, back him off the football, and he's a good player, and he played well for us.
All right, Coach Galen Hall, thank you very much. Hopefully your team can put it together here in the second half, their final 4 games. Back with more from Murray Field here in Scotland in just a few moments. The Claymores, a 5-point victory over Rhein Fire.
Experience the excitement of your favorite Olympic events, now in commemorative cans of Bud, Bud Light, and Bud Ice. Better yet, if you get one of these special gold cans, you could see the games live in Atlanta. Look for Grab the Gold details wherever you see Bud Family Olympic packages. Just another part of the Bud World Party.
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan.
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
Lost and Found, hooking up the planet one reunion at a time. Because all the people we've cared for in the past don't have to stay there. Lost and Found, weekends at 8, 7 Central, only on FX.
A big part of Scotland's 5-point victory over Rhein Fire here at Murray Field was Saran Stacey, Mr. Everything in the Scotland backfield, running, catching, doing everything. And you see the total yards, 169. Saran, congratulations on holding on for the victory. Talk about the fast start. You were a big part of it, first with the touchdown run of 31 yards, and then you caught a pass for a touchdown before the first quarter was over.
Yeah, first of all, I just like to thank God, for watching over me and taking care of me and keeping me healthy to go out every week and perform. I guess the first touchdown was a power O, and I got inside of Tom, our guard. I got inside of his block, and, I got in the secondary. I knew it was one guy to beat, so I sort of gave him a stiff arm, and it was all over after that. I guess the second touchdown was a screen pass, and we caught them they were blitzing us, and it sort of worked out that I was one-on-one, with the safety. And I knew if I could get past him at the end, I could get in the end zone. So, I give a lot of credit to our offensive coordinator, Coach Soka. He's done a great job in calling the plays, and I'm just happy to be a part of the offense.
Saran, Bill Moss, congratulations on another big day.
Thanks,
and can you tell us, is this team gaining some momentum off of last week? I mean, you came out there today just where you left off in the fourth quarter last week, and you're playing like a team that, is crowned champions.
Yeah, all week long, people have been asking questions where we want to go out and lay down, where we're going to be, lackadaisical in our performance. We've already sealed the World Bowl here in Edinburgh, and, so we're playing with a lot of pride. And, we want to come out and establish a running game early, jump on it quick. And we did that. Unfortunately, in the second half, we sort of had a little spill there, but, we'll get that taken care of for next week.
All right, next week you got another big game here. And what's the atmosphere around here like now that you guys have established yourself as a World Bowl participant as compared to 2-8 last year?
I think right now the entire team just wanted to excel. We want to be the very best team that we could be. You know, if you look at our offense and our defense, you know, we haven't really put it all together yet. And so we're still looking for that perfection. So the attitude around this football program is just keep building each week and to get better. You know, we're gonna take on Frankfurt. You know, they feel like, you know, they didn't play their best game, so we're gonna take that as a challenge.
All right, Ron Stacy, congratulations. Thank you very much. Good luck from here on out. That'll do it. For Bill Moss, this is Eric Clemens saying so long from Murray Field, where your final, Scotland 24, Rhein 19. Don't forget, June 23rd on Fox Sports, these same Scottish Claymores will be hosting World Bowl 96 here at Murray Field. You've been watching FX Sports coverage of the World League of American Football.